And that's what I told her when she said, "Where's my money?"
Yeah. So try to recap some things. Long story short, you'd basically with the down bridge between the two towers, some part of your group had finished setting fire and kind of blockading the priestess of Lolth that was overseeing this outpost, Ilvara. You believe you had barricaded and locked her and her newly acquired head guard and lover. Was it Jorlin? Let me double check.
Doesn't matter now. He's
No,
dead.
He's fucked.
Jorlin was the former. I forget the new guy's name. We'll check it out later. I think Casey or someone's mic breathing super hard. If you mind just
But
pulling that
probably me.
back a little
My
bit.
shit's not set up very well right now.
All good. So basically, you believe you barricade them down below, set the room above them on fire with the many pieces of Zerkwood furniture, and kind of
Yeah.
fought your way out back into the ongoing chaos of these sort of winged demons flying through this cavern of the Underdark and fighting off a lot of the Drow guards. Um, you made your way to the main bridge just past the Priestess Tower, and Roe had, I think, believe he cut. He was the one that cut it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cut it. Yeah.
Yeah.
From the opposite end.
Cut the bridge down, and it
Very nobly.
kind of turned into a bit of an ordeal. Like you were trying to make a real acrobatic show of things and rolled a one.
I
And
tried to swing down on the bridge as it fell
yeah.
down like Indiana Jones, and then
And you
a
did,
one
and it
happened.
was probably sometime between now and the partially wounded, downed demon that was caught in the webs next to you when you came crashing down, or later discovering the very, very close to here first bridge that you downed, and all of the many quaggoths, spiders, and former prisoners who also fell down there. But you soon remembered their existence when some of them, spiders included, came sort of around the webbing that you all were trying to descend down through. The still alive and partially wounded demon had to become a bit of a fight that everyone in the party took part in, including all of the other prisoners who were still with you. And even then, the wounded demon was still a bit of a fight. You managed to put it down, hand waving through a bunch of other shit that went down, including like a quick funeral for Eldith the dwarf, and Oscar reclaiming her house shield and hammer. Somewhere along the way, Nalian lost his pants and was wearing nothing but
Everything, really.
a belt, everything, and continued to be dressed in that attire, even during the very sincere, single tear down his human face funeral service that Oscar put on for Eldith.
Sadness, it doesn't wait for you to get clothes on.
That's right. And somehow post bereavement, you managed to pull it together, still pantsless, and come up with a bit of a solution for navigating the very sticky and clingy spider webs by basically making the equivalent of snowshoes out of the pieces
Oh
of
yeah.
Zergwood. Ro took a really, really long time to realize what you all were doing and continued to get stuck and
Every step.
entangled in the webbing over and over again.
Not familiar with this method of movement.
No, no, it was almost as if he was kind of going through a bit of shock or madness, still enthralled by the demon he so closely encountered. As you began kind of going around, you came upon two cocooned forms. One a very dead Ront, I believe, the orc. The other a barely living Prince Darendil who had webbing like even stuffed down into his mouth.
Oh.
At least two giant spiders were nearby, dragging, wrapping, and tending to these two sort of fresh morsels. But you all managed to fight them off and save Darendil, pulling the webbing out from his throat and kind of bringing him to, I think, either with just some medicine checks, probably a good berry. I don't remember if Oscar healed him. One of those 3 things definitely happened. But in that moment, Prince Darendil, the alleged cursed elf from the High Forest, a prince no less, pledged to you all a life debt. And it was in this moment that he said, that his kingdom of Narren Denvain in the High Forest, restoring it and setting it free and reclaiming it is his highest priority. But that now takes a second tier below repaying his life debt to you all. You can tell he appears to be traveling alongside you like your lives are in his hands. Another deal that was made, I believe, still on the dilapidated now rope bridge ramp. Nalian had a very inspiring speech for the other prisoners to help your friend, and his friend being Ro down below, caught by the demon, to join in, and you all would be in their debt. Bupido particularly seemed to take you up on this, being the first to action, claiming that he'll help your friend, but you all will need to repay the favor.
Yeah, listen, Peter. Fucking just do it.
A lot of repaying that needs to happen on everyone's side.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Jim Jar,
draw, really.
big fan of everyone paying their debts.
Goddamn Lannister.
So that pretty much brings us back to current time. I believe you all were starting to descend down an assembly of rope and broken bridge pieces in the opening between the webbing and the cliff edge wall where the waterfall comes down.
Yeah, I think we ended with us down. We had all made it down. I think is where we ended last time.
Okay. I'm good to have a little bit of whoop and just sort of cut in with you all finishing your descent off the rope into the pond, the pool down here.
Yeah. Swan dive.
Are you swan diving?
I'm not swan diving. I'm climbing down a rope.
Very specific with your descriptions.
Yeah.
It seems like a long way down. With full of rocks and spider webs.
Okay, so once we're down in the water, how far away is it to shore?
This is pretty accurate. So I'd say, you're about 50, 60 feet. It's pretty deep. There's almost like a deep shelf beneath you that kind of has a few planes of elevation between you and the shoreline.
Oh, I don't like this feeling. I'm going to swim. I just start swimming.
Wait, hold on. And I put my hand up against his chest. And then Ro examines the water. He wants to see if there's anything peculiar about the water.
Okay. Let's say everyone's kind of getting down into the water. You can talk freely amongst yourselves. Imagine this is you all talking as you climb one after the other, and then just let me set up and clean up a few things on the map here.
Oh, this water is cold.
You can take the 12. I look. Ro bends down. He puts a finger in the water. He tastes it. And he inspects the water. He smells it.
Ezric's kind of just backhand stroking through the cold water because he just absolutely loves how icy cold the water is. He thrives in it.
I didn't want to be the first one in it, but I was going to. But everybody else was so freely jumping into this, loving it, that I was just gonna let them be my guinea pigs here.
Okay, I'm swimming.
You're just going in? You're just jumping in?
We're in the water. All of us are in the water already.
Ezric's gonna do a dive into the water a little bit and just get really nice and fresh, and he's gonna take a look at what kind of like vegetation is at the floor of.
Yeah, Fitty, how
of
much
the water.
spider jizz is in this one?
That tastes like spider jizz. But I don't know if I can tell with a 12 if it's spider jizz or not. But hopefully I can't.
Are we
Because
under the
Did you
waterfall
taste a
now?
little bit? Like,
I've never, yeah, I tasted it, but I've never tasted spider jizz. So I tell you.
you are a ranger.
Give me a few minutes just to set up
Yeah.
a few
Is
shit.
that-
Yeah, it's spider.
But yeah,
okay.
you were I believe you were climbing down from the bridge into the opening, which is like right here, which would I just want to start with you all coming down the rope into the waterfall.
The water is
Okay.
cully. Ezric thrives.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
How
water,
do
the
you know?
milky white water splashes over your face.
It's like a Japanese anime with the sunshine rays and like
Oh no,
just water splashing everywhere.
So lovely.
that's spider jizz. Tastes like spider jizz.
Who's got stools? He's still with Jim Jar?
Oh no, where is stools?
I don't remember who had him when we ended.
I might have picked
Stools?
him up.
Should
I
we
think
cry out to him?
Alien might have had
I think I
stool.
picked him up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nalian did.
Are you Yoda-ing him
No, I mean I think I had him.
That
under your
works.
armpit?
Nalian didn't have much on his person, but if there was one item he did have, I'm pretty sure it was stool.
Alright.
What do you got
Yeah,
there? You
yeah.
got
I had plenty of stool.
Oh,
Oh,
pooping right now. Show you where the lollipop.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
You're all touching down to the water. It is quite cold. I think, Ro, you said you were kind of taking things
I'm
in a
inspecting
bit.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Breathing it in, but not if it's bad smelling.
I'd say all of you can just make a perception check.
Should I re-roll? I rolled a nature because I was stupid, and I rolled perception. You could go with the nature if you want.
Yeah, I'd take the first roll on that.
Okay, yeah. God damn. Okay, there we go.
Alright.
Proficiency times 2. What does that mean?
You said percepts? You said give me my percepts?
Yeah.
Give him
Uh-huh.
the percepts, yeah.
Give them to you. I'm gonna give you all of my percepts. It
10.
is half of it.
Zahn, as you're kind of helping to usher everyone down and across the water here, you keep looking in this general direction to the northeast for two reasons. One, you recall that this is the pathway where all of the Drow patrols kind of traveled between here and Menzo Brenz, the Drow capital city. But two, more recently, I don't remember if you were among the group or you just heard the stories back in your prison cell.
I'm the one who was in the water.
You were in the
One
water and greatly remember the moving gelatinous form that seemed to be in the pond. Yeah. And you're watching keenly, and as of now, you don't see anything moving around you or the others.
Okay. Oh, I think it's okay. We should probably make for shore, though.
Remember, I was trying to get to shore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm already on the shore.
How's Oscar doing?
Oscar is...
Oscar.
I mean, he's having quite a hard time getting down. He's like, I'm not the strongest dwarf. And he's kind of like leaning into people here and there.
Oh, can you roll to see if he falls?
Prince Darendil tries to like act tough on his life debt promise with his hulking form, but you can tell he is just so fucking injured that like even the slightest bit of pressure
he reaches
is all
out,
he can take.
but it's not close enough.
Oscar, here, at least give me the mace or the hammer and the shield, and I'll carry it while you swim.
No.
Very.
that was such a cool
Very
thing.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it was.
good luck.
These You
Looks
kind of hear
awfully
you kind
heavy.
of like you kind of hear him mumble like he was trying for you to not hear, but you kind of say, "These are dwarves, not elves." And he's like clutching the shield pretty closely.
Ro whispers, "You're a racist."
He's a little racist.
Well, at least let me help you then. So I'll help.
That's fine. And he kind of like leans into you, and you just feel his fingers caress your shoulder before they finally settle into a grip.
I'm feeling pretty good, but I started swimming to shore with Oscar.
Okay.
You help him down, but uncomfortably his robe slips up and you can see his nuts. The wind carries his robe up. Whoosh.
Whoosh, whoosh. I am happy to assume everyone else is just wading and swimming your way to shore as well.
Uh, can Ezric see the bottom of the pond?
Yeah, how
not
deep is it?
not right here. So if you could imagine, like along a certain point, you're in like a very deep part of the water here, probably formed from the
Okay.
waterfall or what was once flowing water. And then there's like a noticeable shelf in front of you here where you can kind of see it's murky, but you get a better sense of the bottom. And then there's a third shelf close to the shore that's pretty shallow, probably about like
Ro,
4 feet
So,
deep.
so Ezric's going to swim into a depth that he feels confident that it would be appropriate to dive under real quick to see what he can see.
as
And
Ro sees Ezric swim down into the murky depths, he uses dancing lights with his fingers. And he shoots 5 lights down 120 feet until they hit the bottom of the water.
Okay.
Guys, I wouldn't go investigating. I'm not feeling great.
Yeah.
If anything, it makes a line that goes across like this to help everybody.
Ezric's just doing
across.
this like in passing. He's not like spending a lot of time.
Okay.
He's giving it a like an overview kind of like big picture
Cursory
kind of look.
glance.
I say to Zahn, if we need to book it, we need to book it.
Yeah. I'm already
Ezra,
at the shore.
make a perception check, Ezric, as you're kind of taking,
All right.
you're swimming along and then you dive down.
It's illuminated.
It's
10.
it's pretty murky. Like your eyes fixate on some of like the glowing little plants that seem to be down there on the bottom, but nothing that really catches your eye. And it's almost like discerning, and you kind of get like an uneasy feeling a little bit with all of the darkness around you, and you start to swim back up. The lights do cling and glow around you, but you don't notice anything in particular here.
All right. And then Ezric just goes to shore from there.
Alright. Anybody else? Nailing your swimming ashore with stool in hand?
Yep, I'm already on shore. I'm dry already. Been staying here so long. I did not trust that water.
Like your feet are getting annoyingly dry. Like the sand
Yeah.
is just super coarse.
This water's turned into
You guys
sand.
wore my socks. I'm so dry.
I would say I would get out of the water and like immediately kind of go into like a crouch stance, like as in
Yeah.
we barely just escaped this place and like I not
It's still a
feeling
war
great.
zone.
Yeah, and there's still demon things flying overhead. So like I'm like kind of crouched down using the terrain and like hide behind stuff.
Anybody that comes out of the water, I'm helping to like get down, like like is like a factory line coming out of the soldiers. I'm trying to like get down, keep moving.
Yeah, like and Ro is going into survival mode. He knows how desperate this party is right now, and he's following the lights and swimming across. And one by one, he's going, and he's sucking them back up into his hand as he swims over them. He's looking for anything that's underneath.
And although the rest of the party is like saying get down, Ezric just kind of like confidently cuts through the group to the front.
Jeez, he knows something.
In basically right now, if you look back to pull way out here. Um,
Whoa.
you look back above you. You see like the big hanging stalactites, like the blanket of webbing up above. If it's never occurred to you before, it does now. Like it's no wonder that no one knows about this outpost here. Like you look up and you just see what appear to be huge caverns and stalactites, pockets of ceiling that could go up for almost a mile in height, and the webbing perfectly obscures from view any idea that there's a lift up there, that there's any kind of civilization up there. You take it all in, and maybe it's with awe, maybe it's with a bit of relief, but you still see pockets of fire near where the lift was and where some of the webbing was, and smoke billowing out. You still see dark winged forms flying and dropping, and you still occasionally hear someone blowing on a war horn, perhaps in some last meager attempt to sound for that drow patrol that never came. You look at all this and you kind of immediately feel yourself and your fellow prisoners looking around you with a very intense, unnerving, unsettled kind of tone. People wondering what to do and where to go, and everyone kind of looking to each other for someone to speak up about it.
Is this like? Can you describe the terrain down here? Like, is this like a lot like the picture in the
Is it
Yeah,
the
in the
Underdark?
this looks like a like if there was trade that you were aware of, like this would be a trade route. Like this is
Okay.
there's a passageway to the north, there's one to the west, there's one to the south. The overall terrain is not polished stone, but it's like smooth enough in places that like carts and wagons and things could travel through here, and it's quite fucking large and open.
Okay.
You're literally at a crossroads the more you take it in. I mean, it's way more alien and different than anything you could imagine up on the surface. But like as you take in the environment and you take in some of the natural pathways that have been utilized here, it feels like a crossroads.
I get up right next to Nalian, who has stool, and I just whisper in his ear and I say, "Do you think we can use stool again?"
And I looked at the stool,
Hey,
asking the question with
I
my
am
eyes.
stool.
You don't even say anything.
I said,
Uh, he's kind of like looking at you. He tilts his head, I guess you could call
His
it, a little bit,
mushroom.
and he kind of
I massage it
pokes
for him.
he pokes you in the mouth
Aw.
and then pokes himself in the head, like as if to ask you, like, 'cause he doesn't understand you. He doesn't speak unless you're in sport.
Connected.
Yeah. So
Uh,
you kind of get the sense that he's like
Rub
pantomiming
him harder.
and trying to
Yeah.
like he's asking if that's what you want.
I looked at Zahn. I'm not saying anything. I'm a man of few words.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time for it.
You can see him kind of like doing the equivalent of like gesturing everyone to kind of get close.
I say yes to stool, and I give him the pet I've given him, a familiar. Something I've learned from Oscar, actually. I've added a little flourish to it, thanks to Oscar.
Mm,
There's a little extra finger.
mm.
Oh, the stink finger.
Hey, it's just extra finger, man.
All right. He begins to spread his spores round and round.
Ro mumbles, yes, give him the finger.
All within a 10-foot radius, spores are kind of flying about and beginning to land on and absorb into the skin or the mouths of everyone around you.
That's in the mouth.
As the spores settle in, just a few moments later, you all begin hearing some of the more open thoughts and ideas going through the minds of everyone around you. Like immediately, like you hear a few particular things that kind of float to the surface. You hear like, Neverlight Grove. Is it really a sanctuary? And you hear another more calm, tranquil sort of voice, like thinking to himself. My people, they shall know the awakening as well. And
What?
You
That
hear
sounds not good.
you you hear another another voice. Just saying like to herself, "We can't go home. We can't go home. Brother will not do well there." You hear
Oh, okay.
you hear a more childlike kind of thought, and much like what Zahn was trying to do before, you just hear the word home, home, and you picture and almost visualize a forest made out of gigantic mushroom shapes, all
Oh.
of varied species and varieties. Uh, you hear another voice, kind of thinking to himself, he's interesting, that one. Interesting dreams. Perhaps I'll visit again. And
What?
you hear another voice thinking about Blades. Blades, the city of Blades. Uh, uh,
Fuck.
another voice is just kind of thinking actively, what's going on up there? Are they really demons? And then you hear whatever the rest of you all are thinking and saying.
Rose thinking in his head, like, man, I hope they didn't realize I shit myself on the way down. I think I broke my penis. Shit, they can hear me.
Everyone gets quiet when they hear that.
Ro looks away.
Zahn kind of looks around and then thinks, so, any idea which way is the best way to go?
I think the best way to go would be to ask who thought about the awakening. What is that?
Shushar, where's your city?
Shushar kind of looks at you. He always looks like he's in a sort of partial meditative trance. But he looks at you with like those half-lidded eyes. He says, "I owe you all a great thanks for helping us escape. I would be honored to take you to my people. It is not far from here, and it sits on the Dark Lake, the very best means to travel to any other location any one of you would wish to travel to. And my people, the Kuotoa, no other knows the labyrinth of the Dark Lake as we do.
Oh.
We can guide you. We can provide watercrafts for you to travel within.
Oh, we get a boat.
The Dark
Or
Lake is by no means a safe haven, but you would be able to travel more swiftly. And he's kind of like nodding at you all.
I just kind of look around. I'm like, I don't think we have a better choice. If anyone objects, speak now. Otherwise, lead on.
uh Ro continues to look away, but you hear mumbled, "Fuck, I don't like this."
The everyone's kind of taking a moment right now. A lot of the other prisoners, all from obviously very different backgrounds and races and probably homes, either down here or back on the surface world. Um, you you see Jim Jar, um, kind of kind of moves in close to Nalian and Stool. Um, and he's got that sort of wry smile going. And he says, I am interested in getting our little friend home to Neverlight Grove. And I do believe the former drow, and he kind of looks to Sereth, also wishes to accept Stool's offer of sanctuary in the grove. That being said, Sereth, weren't you saying you know this area quite well? And he kind of like throws it over to Sereth in this moment.
Passing the ball.
Um, Sereth nods and says, I did promise to guide you all should you help me escape, and I do wish to take Stool up on his offer of sanctuary. But where we are here in the Underdark is a place quite far from most other areas here, including the home that the Kuotoa speaks of, and he's gesturing to Shushar. That being said, his home is the closest. His village of I'm not going to try to pronounce it. And Shushar just chimes in telepathically, and you hear him say, Sluberdop. Uh, his.
Yes.
Yes,
Sluberdap.
that one. It is the closest thing that sits on the Dark Lake. We
That's it.
we could travel to any number of places from there. No doubt the Darrow wishes to go to the City of Blades. Both Gracklestugh and Neverlight Grove, they're a similar distance from the Kuoto village on the Dark Lake. I have no idea how to get there, but I do know their relative proximity. He kind of looks back to you all. Jim Jar shrugs and says, Sloopdop sounds alright by us.
Oh, Sloopy Dop.
These
Maybe we
names.
can reassess at that point if we go directly to the Grove or if some other place warrants our attention.
Yes, let's just start in that direction because I have a feeling if we stay here, we have a greater chance of being spotted. It sounds good to me. We need to find a place to rest too. And Zahn kind of looks around, and there are plenty of us who are not 100%.
Hmm.
The camera cuts to Ro, and he's thinking in his head, they haven't noticed, they haven't noticed. And he's kind of like jostling his pants waist deep in the water.
Okay. I would say the camera slowly pulls back into like a top-down view of this whole
Ooh.
fucking debacle, and it sort of breaks through clouds of smoke from the fires you started with webbing going past and distant fires burning and dark forms flying past and the top-down figures getting smaller and smaller of you all heading towards the western passage towards the dark lake as you become little blips of nothing in the darkness and continue on
Oh.
your journey out of this crossroads cavern. You travel for what is probably at least a few hours before you actually feel like you've made any kind of even remotely safe distance from the outpost. You've seen it once and you've heard of it before, but Drow do not take kindly to prisoners escaping on their watch. Many of you know, or at least think, probably at least some of you, uh, that it's only a matter of time, should any of those Drow survive, that you become hunted.
Oh. I'm gonna. What's the terrain look like around here when we're traveling through the dark? Is it just rocks?
As of now, it is. Yeah, I mean, if we look at like this super zoomed out view, imagine you're traveling through this corridor towards that passageway there, and it's even by the time you get there, you're only probably about 2 or 3 hours past the main portion that you see here, with your wounded and everyone slowing you down quite a bit currently.
Ro's gonna periodically on the trek. He's gonna pick up like 4 or 5 rocks, and he's gonna try to perfectly balance them on top of each other like a Karen. And he knows that like if he hears the rocks tumble over, that they're being followed. He's perfectly balanced them.
Hmm, that's cool. I like that. You, like I said, you get about 3 or 4 hours in when Oscar and a few of the other more injured people in your group kind of give a. Have we gone far enough that we can rest now?
Zahn looks around like immediately,
Hard to do.
looking around, just checking out the environment, see if there's any good like alcoves or a place where like we could hide and rest for hopefully a long rest.
Yeah, I wanna try to find the best place to rest up here. I wanna look as well for since I'm familiar with the Underdark. I wanna look for cover.
Casey, are you muted?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was on purpose.
Oh boy! I thought I rolled well.
I'm just kind of rolling right now with these guys. Following
Yeah.
Zahn mostly.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say between all of your point people here, you find like a little pocket area that you feel comfortable enough with, kind of setting down for now.
Is it like a little cave, like an alcove?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me just pull something up here. Are you guys all like just settling in and trying to like rest for a short while? You're trying to do a long
I actually
rest?
have a question for you, Fiddy. Out of character kind of situation here.
Sure.
To use my Pact of Chains, it says that my Find Familiar can be used as a ritual. Is
Yeah.
that does that change the components that are needed to use that in some way?
Yeah, in this
Or-
case, because this is part of your Warlock Pact and not the normal thing, there actually are no components required
Oh.
other than the ritual itself.
Okay. Then I definitely want to do something at some point here.
Yeah. As soon as you have 10 minutes, rituals are basically a 10-minute, hand wavy
Perfect.
process. All right.
Is there vegetation down here, or is it just rock? I know I already asked that, but
As you like near the water, there's some in terms of like fungus, but then as you get on your way here, you do see pockets of spores and other little fungus type vegetation, if you want to call it that.
but like nothing big, right? Like nothing I could chop down and like put
Well,
in front
no,
of
I
our
mean,
little alcove.
nothing big right here. But going back to that Zerkwood that you all got pretty familiar with, like some Zerkwood mushrooms like get like 20 to 40 feet tall, like huge.
Okay.
But not in this particular area. This is all fairly
Do
small.
I still have any of my adventurer's kit, like my rope?
Yeah.
I wanna pull one of the mushrooms down like a sling, like a trap in the front of our alcove. Like I'm gonna pull it down and make a noose with a little rock on it. And it's like if somebody steps on it, then they're gonna get slung. Is that doable? Is that not doable?
No. Like so, yeah. There's really there's no mushrooms in this spot that are like
Oh, okay,
actually
okay.
quite large. Nothing. I mean, like small little things that you could check out, try to eat if you wanted to, but
It's a poor trap.
yeah.
It's very tiny. Okay, I'll go in the alcove.
We should probably set up watches. I can take one.
I'll take first watch.
I'll I'll take one. And I cough. Ro coughs up a little blood.
Is that enough? Or do I need to take one also?
Your mind echoes through our minds.
It's mostly it depends on how long you're gonna rest for.
I think we're doing a full rest.
Doing a full rest, okay.
Full rest.
It's Clue. Hey.
Howdy, partner.
Hey, Luke.
I made it.
I want you to know Oscar was played perfectly in your
Yeah,
absence.
it was. And the recognition of how hard it is to do the voice.
Yeah.
Recognition.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the attempts.
Recognition.
Where are we at?
You all have basically made your full escape out of the the outpost, down the rope, through the waterfall and the pond. And on the shoreline there, you kind of like watched the remnants of the chaos between like the fire, the demons, and the drow, with the distant horn still blowing every now and then. And you all mostly wounded, tired, probably kept at a pretty exhausted state as it was before any of this by your and prisoners. You all had huddled up on the shoreline and used stool to communicate with each other. And there were a lot of random thoughts floating on the surface in sort of the frantic minds of everyone still in your party here and the other prisoners. Uh, some people mentioned places that they wanted to go, some of their homes, but all in all, Sarah stepped in, the ex-drow traveling with you, who admitted that he still wanted to go to Neverlight Grove, but that the Kuatoa's home village of Slubdoop, which is
Sloopy doo.
probably the closest thing to civilization around here in this crossroads of the Underdark that you're in. And it's there that his village is adjacent to the Dark Lake, which is an immense region in its own right, but it allows access and travel to a lot of the next major outposts of civilization down here. And if you were to help him, he promised that he or some of his people might be able to guide you through the waters of the Dark Lake with watercrafts. So a lot of promises, a lot of debts. We recapped about Prince Darendil vowing a life debt to help you all before returning to his stolen, ruined elven kingdom in the High Forest. And we talked about Bupito claiming that you all would owe them if he helped get the other prisoners to help you all kill the demon and save Ro before you finally escaped. But after all of that, you have traveled for about 4 hours from the shoreline just beneath the outpost, and the ranger and the monk have managed to find you all a nice enough cave that you can finally take a long rest in.
Yep.
And that is where we are.
Nice.
You currently, I think, still already have normal inspiration on your character sheet, so if you want to bank your birthday inspiration,
Yeah, birthday inspire.
Ooh, birthday
you
inspiration.
can, but you just
Oh.
have to remind me to add it.
Ha! Yeah.
Do I get that inspiration too?
When was your birthday?
Yeah, what about
was,
mine?
Was
Shit.
it was not a birthday. It was a natural
Oh, 1,000?
roll.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
true. That's true.
That's true.
1,000. Yeah.
The
yeah.
1K dream.
That's awesome.
Wait,
Yep.
what other recent birthdays did we miss?
Casey had one.
I think we played on
yeah.
my birthday actually.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
give
think
you
so.
the birthday
And I
inspiration?
think it influenced everything too.
I don't remember.
Alright, you can have it.
Dude,
What about my inspiration?
Yeah. And then Cal's is like 2 weeks before mine.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
This is true. These are true
Let me see
things.
some, let me see
God
some
gets
driver's
wise.
licenses.
And mine's
Yeah.
coming up, so be careful.
I'm gonna have another birthday within
But
a
then you
year.
have to wait a whole. We all have to wait a whole year for the house.
City, I got like 8 months. So
You're in October, right, Dave? Or something like that.
November, yeah.
October, yeah.
Oh man. Alright, so you
Did we gain a
all
level?
you all have you have not. You've all holed up in this cave for now. Sorry, Elaine, some people were volunteering for watches. Who you want 2 people on the first watch? How are you doing this?
Ezric's gonna take the first watch.
If we need 2 people, then we'll do 2 people.
Ro is
If we-
insanely hurt.
I think
but he'll
I think
take
we have
watch.
like, are we like in an alcove? Is there only one way in, or is there like multiple ways? Like, are
I
we?
have a fun generic map that I'm gonna try to use for just like,
Oh.
random under.
Well,
let me-
I was just gonna. You just use the main map. I was just, if we're in something like this,
no, you feel like it closes off.
yeah, then we probably only need one person,
Unless they die.
or they have really shitty perception rolls.
I'm looking at everyone.
Try sharing this. It might take a moment.
Oh, okay. It's a generic, a little genero.
Nice.
Oh, a little tiny cave.
Yeah.
Used to go alone.
Let's go.
Yeah,
go
we should-
deeper.
Yeah, we should do pairs.
So if you watch, do you not get the full rest?
No, you just have to. You can split it up. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at Zahn and I say, I prefer to be on watch with you.
Okay. Are we? Sarek is going first. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take
Yes.
second watch.
Okay.
I'm already
Zahn-
sleeping.
Yeah, Zahn's like face down, and then starts sleeping.
I'd
Is one of you
prefer
taking
to.
first watch with Ezric, or is it one of the other prisoners?
It's Oscar or Casey, and Casey's
Yeah.
asleep. So Oscar.
Casey's
I'll do it.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to, but I already did it.
Yep, now you're sleeping. You're done.
Old man Ezric. Team Ezric. Or Team Oscar. Team Oscar.
Oscar Ezric.
So we're on the lookout right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just kind
You're
of.
on the prowl.
And
if
I
you
mean,
will.
like it
Can we do like a little side banter while we're like sitting out
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
like just doing our thing?
Please and thank you.
Uh,
Yeah. So I mean, like, imagine like you're resting, you're doing small things, but all that counts to still be like on watch.
Okay. Oscar. What? What are you doing out here? Why? Shouldn't you be asleep? You're an old man.
I should, but I have watch. I gotta take watch. I'm here with you.
Why is it that you?
No wait, hang on. You asked a question. I have a question.
Oh. What
Are
is
you
your
at-
question?
How are you still walking?
How am I
Oh.
still walking?
Yeah,
Is this metaphorical?
maybe. I lean in. Oscar leans in really close. He's looking at him. He's like, I heard you cannot die.
Oh.
You're not wrong, my friend.
What
I've seen
keeps
this
you
day. I've seen many days. It keeps me walking. I'm cursed.
cursed?
You may some find this not to be a curse and the complete opposite, but the truth of the matter is, I am cursed.
By whom? By what?
Oh.
I'm indebted to my god, the Undying.
Dying. Oh.
And like it got eerily dark when he uttered the Undying.
Oh, like Gandalf style?
Yeah.
Do you communicate with your god?
The room's dark and you're asking that question.
Yeah.
The more Ezric speaks about the Undying, the darker the room gets. But he keeps going on.
You're supposed to be keeping watch. This is
Yeah.
help at all.
I communicate with my god sometimes in my dreams. Have you experienced this before with yours?
Yes, I have dreams too. I think. Now, lean really up close. The gods conspire. We are mere pawns, and at their whim, they're working together. Anyway,
Are you telling me my curse could be a part of their game?
I'm telling you, it is.
Oh. Ba-ba-ba.
But here's the thing. When you have completed your god's task, will you still be walking this earth?
That is for my god to decide.
What do you want,
But-
though?
Let me ask you this, Oscar.
Okay, yeah.
Why
that's
do
a lot
you?
of questions.
Demon question.
What makes you believe in your god
Well,
instead of mine?
he won't leave me alone.
I hear him.
And also, he's very persistent. And he's real.
Tangible God.
He's a tangible. I've got bruises. You don't
Oh
want
my
to know.
God.
You
Beats up
don't
an
wanna
old
know.
man.
Can I ask you a favor, my friend?
Terrible God,
please.
Oscar.
Could you give me a back rub
Oh,
while
yeah.
I complete a ritual of mine? I believe you may be able to help me help my god.
What's the ritual? Is it like
Yeah,
bloodletting?
Did you agree to back rubbing me?
Yeah, I'm gonna give
Okay.
you guidance.
Okay. So, Ezric raises
also-
his. Okay.
Oh, as
ahead,
I
go.
give you the guidance, and this is like also a thing, but I'm gonna make the fires to brighten a little bit to help with the offset the dimming the light.
The
Oh.
fires.
Yeah, like the candlelight or like whatever firelight that we are that we do have will brighten.
Okay. Fiddy, we're just outside of like the cave on that that
Yeah.
opening area, right? Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can look back towards the burning
Oh yeah.
the burning area.
Yeah.
Like would I see that? Like even if it's covered by like fog or whatever, in some way it would still kind of like be illuminating in some way because it's probably getting intense by now, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
have
you
dark
you,
vision, right?
you would see it bouncing around like a little bit, you know.
All right,
Yeah,
so
it wasn't natural 20, was it?
It's a little glowy.
Ezric turns his head to Oscar and he kind of just goes, "Watch this," and he holds his hand up to the glowy, and it sort of I don't know if this actually happens or if I have to roll for it to happen, but it's part of the ritual, I would imagine,
Yeah.
that I'm gonna perform. But the intensity of the glow, can I roll to see like what percentage of glow goes away or something? Like I want to know.
Stealing light from the room.
I'm stealing the light from the fire, essentially.
No, I think it just happens as part. If you're like
Oh,
folding
shit,
that into
it's
like
happening.
your summoning ritual.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ezric holds his hand to the glow, and it's kind of like you only know that it's glowing because we like set this place on fire.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be kind of discerning. But it goes away, and the ashes from the fire kind of like accumulate towards Ezric's hand, and it turns kind of icy and turns to this crystally glowy ice. And with that, he draws a circle in the sand, and what is it called? A pentagram?
Yeah.
Probably.
5-pointed star.
Yeah, he does the 5-pointed star, and takes out his dagger and slices his hand, and his blood. It's not blood. It's like that dark ooze that was described before.
Oh.
That the undying. It happened during his undying dream. The black ooze kind of drips down into the center of
it's
the
very,
circle.
very liquid Terminator-ish, reflective
Mhm.
and kind of like almost like a warped mirror at times.
Oh.
And the circle ignites with icy fire, if you will. It's like blue, but it instead of emanating fire, it emanates like freezing cold temperatures,
Oh.
and it swirls.
It's like reverse fire.
It swirls, and it conjures up Xenope, his what is it called? Shit. His
shadow
familiar. He uses something with chains. Shit. I fucked this up, you guys. I got cut up in my delivery.
That's alright. That's the part that matters. Keep going. We'll
Yeah.
retrofit.
Yep.
He
I'm
uses
still hot.
pact of the chain,
Ah.
and Xenope appears. His he just appears. I'm not gonna explain what it is, but it's friendly to me, and Ezric's holding up his hand, and Xenope lands on his arm, and
Does
And
it
there
make
we
a
go.
noise? Does it make a noise?
it screes pretty loud.
That
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, everyone's awake.
I picture people in the cave just like hearing this noise that they don't recognize and like just opening one eye or something and being like,
I'm telling you to shut the fucking thing up.
oh, okay.
Shut up!
But anyway, I have summoned Xenope, the Shadow Phoenix.
Shut the fuck up!
Dope.
Wow.
Why don't both of you on watch roll a d20?
Uh-oh. How much danger do you get in? I hope you roll ones. Oh, dynamic opposite.
That was a 12 that you rolled.
Oh shit! I
Yeah.
have so many menus up. My bad.
Yeah, no worries.
Nice catch, old man.
That's 12. Roll
Is
the
the
big
one next to it a 20? I thought
Yeah.
I rolled the big
The
one.
last one is a 20.
I thought I rolled that. Did I not?
You did not. You didn't do much better.
But it's better.
Proportionally, almost the same.
Fate is sealed.
At least I've Xenope.
Yep.
Well,
I hope I don't
Flaming
die for it.
beast.
I want to ask, actually, Fiddy.
Yeah.
Does this thing look like the thing from my dreams? The metallic dragon.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, like, there's parts of it have a familiarity to that, but it's
How
it's,
familiar?
It's like definitely not the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish...
Yeah.
I want you to roll for it, but I won't make you. Do you believe it's the thing, or do you not believe
No,
it's
no. I know it's almost like, is it like kin or something? You know, it's like
Mm.
how there's dragon kin and all this. This is what is this thing? Ezric,
What is it?
this is very amazing. Is this you? What is this?
This is a projection. It's an image of what once was and what is now.
So
My old
cryptic.
my old friend, no, not my friend, in another world, in another life that I lived, I was a completely different looking and acting person, and I had an animal that resembled this, but different. I can't quite picture. I can't quite understand what is different about it, but
It was what this is, but not what it is.
yeah, it is what it is, but not, but isn't, but is it?
I see. I think
So wise. I
Incredible.
understand.
well.
I know it's profound and hard to understand, but you must be wise enough to be able to.
While you two are kind of working your way through your explanation, you hear the sounds of kind of frantic footfalls, pretty far off. Like you think, Oscar, that you heard them before they've heard you. You kind of Ezric's going on, and like you're kind of like, or at least
Yeah.
in your mind.
Whoa! Wait!
Different. It's the same, but
I don't know if you
I
do
hear
that.
footsteps.
You hear the thing. You do you.
Shh. There's footsteps. Footsteps. I use thaumaturgy to actually dim all of the lights.
Oh, does it
Oh, I
work
like
on the
that.
Phoenix? Does it work on the Phoenix?
Probably not. It says I cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for 1 minute. So that's it. Just flames.
Okay.
I don't think the Phoenix necessarily produces a light.
Yeah, it's not burning or something.
No.
But yeah, I want to dim everything, and I want to like I'm gonna tell Ezra, "Hey, there's footsteps, and then I'm
Okay.
gonna make a stealth check.
Alright. Yeah, like as you him, like almost in reaction to yourself, like you instinctually just trigger your thaumaturgy magic.
Oh,
And
hey,
everything
hide.
settles around you.
Try to hide.
The familiar that Ezric summoned doesn't really burn or isn't really bright or glowy so much as it's like the absence of light. It's kind of like looking into like true black, true darkness at
Oh.
times.
Vanta Black.
Yeah, it's almost like the form itself seems like invisible at times the way it kind of just absorbs the light. Um, anyway,
Oscar.
you shush him. You dim the lights. Are you
I hide.
repositioning? How exactly are
Yeah.
you?
I want to send out Xenope as kind of like a scouter.
Okay.
So yeah, when the lights goes out, Ezra takes that as a cue and kind of like throws Xenope into the air. And how do I control this thing?
I think you're able. Are you able to move it? I might
I
be
don't
able
think
to.
I can.
I
Yeah,
do
you can tell it
this.
to do something, and it will go and do it. I think there's a
Anything?
range.
Yeah,
I think there's a range that you can.
You just click and
Look.
drag it.
Anything.
Yeah,
Does
when I
it
do
have
that,
a-
it doesn't let me.
Does it have
Oh.
a beak or a mouth?
Beak mouth.
Well,
Yeah, I think
you can
looks
just
good.
kind
Top
of
of the thing.
point around, and I can
Okay.
guide you.
A falcon.
Oscar, where are the noises coming from? And and he takes that as a cue that it's over this way.
Yeah.
It's just a rock with a hand pointing from around the side.
Yeah, exactly.
This way.
Oh, I ready my
Did that
crossbow.
show up?
Only for you, probably.
What is it?
Oh, I wasn't sure if my arrow showed up or something.
Oh
Did
yeah, I
you
can
do a
see
line?
it. It's just dark because it's black on black.
Yeah.
I don't know how many actions I can do, but I also ready my crossbow. If
Okay.
that's a thing. I mean, like, I
Yeah,
used
yeah.
thaumaturgy, I rolled stealth, and then I'm getting my crossbow ready. I don't know if I can do all that in the time that
Okay.
it takes for this person. To
You all kind of post up. Ezric, you're telling your xenophobe to go along the black path there.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why. Yeah, it's not.
This is like a
Oh, there we
watch montage until something catastrophic goes on, right?
yeah, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you just commanding him to go, or are you doing other things with him?
I'm just commanding him to go to kind of scout out, and he'll retreat to me if he sees danger.
I
imagine.
command you to go.
So you have I don't know if you can see if I do this, but you have like a limited telepathy with your familiar.
Yeah.
So you can also familiar. I think you can actually like kind of warg into it, essentially too.
Oh.
Like you can like your body here would be static, but you can see and hear through its eyes.
Mhm. Perfect. So yeah, just gonna see what I see.
Okay. All right.
What do I see? I see.
Just gonna do a little thing real quick. So as you
This is
get
driving
out
me
into
crazy.
like a bit of the winding pathway here, you hear the footfalls get louder and closer, and you see three really really fucked up. Like one of them has a huge raking hunks of flesh just torn out of his body, but three drow guards who appear to be like running for their lives
Oh, God.
are kind of like stopped at this crossroads just to the west of where your familiar is right now. You're looking through and they're kind of like looking left, looking right. You can hear and know that they're speaking drow, but I don't know that either of you understand um, the dark elf tongue.
Yeah.
Negative.
I don't.
Okay. You just continue to sort of watch and listen. What are you doing?
Yeah, watching and listening.
Yeah, waiting for a crossbow,
Mhm.
clear crossbow shot.
Okay. You.
And I picture Xenope just like hovering close to, or like like being as close to the ceiling as possible and
Yeah.
unnoticeable as
Oh,
possible.
like an
so,
alien? Like from Alien?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just like blending in.
You you watch for a moment, like you can see that like the two uninjured drow are kind of conversing and arguing a little bit. The third one is just slumped against the stalagmite on the ground there, like seems to be half conscious. A few more moments pass, and like they finally stop shouting. Like the one who's clearly in control of the situation, like sort of yells one final thing in Undercommon, picks up the injured guy on his shoulder and starts walking to the southwest, away from you, the pathway that leads to you all.
Okay.
What are you two doing?
Ezra, what? What do you see?
So I picture Ezric just like can see through Xenop's vision and is still able to like hear Oscar and reply to him.
Let's go
Would
with
that
that for
be
now. I gotta double
feasible?
check the familiar
Okay.
warging business.
I got my hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Wounded, wounded
Come on.
drow are up ahead. They passed by our tunnel. Something bad could be on the way.
But they walking away.
Yes, they walked
Okay.
away, very wounded.
Okay, good. I was gonna fuck them up.
So good.
What should we do?
Just maybe leave your phoenix over there, and then just see if anybody else comes.
All right, yeah. Just watching and waiting, trying to wait out our
Okay.
watch.
Oh, and if any of them come this way, I'm gonna go wake everybody up.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. You all continue the rest of your watch a little more alert than you had been during your conversation. But the rest of your watch goes by uneventfully. It's only about another hour or so from the time that you heard the sounds. But it's time for you all to relieve yourselves and get some sleep of your own.
Relieve yourselves.
I take a
Alright,
piss and then go
Ezric
to sleep.
recalls his, and goes
Yeah.
to sleep. Yeah.
Who is up next?
I believe it's
Me and Zahn.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, we wake
I
them
see.
up.
Do we see Xenope coming in?
Uh,
How big is Xenope?
Yeah, I would assume so. Unless you're dismissing him, Ezric.
No, he's gonna stay around forever.
Okay. Well, I think.
Forever.
Well, fuck it. Let's just do
He's
real quick.
never
I haven't,
leaving.
I haven't looked at the familiar stuff for a little while, but if we.
I think
how-
with Pact of Chains or whatever, it is like a forever thing.
I'm okay with that.
Well, it's forever, but like in terms
it's
of like all the
familiar, yeah.
stuff you can do,
And like,
it-
how big is it? And like, like size and stuff. Like,
So yeah, like when it drops
Sure.
0 hit points, it doesn't actually die. You just have to resummon it. Like
Right,
it
right.
returns to the plane from which it's living. And when it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. As in action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn, gaining the benefits of any special senses that it has, during which time you are deaf and blind with regard to your own senses.
Oh.
next
that's
time-
not
I
good.
cheated. Next time-
Interesting.
Next time we will engage that. But yeah, he touched you, so it still worked out.
Okay.
And as an action, you can dismiss your familiar, and it disappears to its pocket dimension, where it awaits your summons. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, that's interesting. When you cast a spell, you can cast it as if your familiar cast the spell. What? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so I think I can like position him in certain places and then use like
But it looks like it came out of your familiar, not you.
right like cantrips and stuff, right?
I think so.
Like
Or
chill
like,
touch?
or like chill touch. It will be like chill breath coming out of him.
Or like thunderclap, it would like slap its wings on the ground or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
That's
has,
cool.
to have a range, it has to have a range of touch, but if it has a range of touch, your familiar can deliver the spell as if it had cast it, and you have
That
to be
means, like, all
within
the-
100 feet of it when you do it.
Like the hate from the monsters will go on to onto his familiar, not to Ezeric from casting the spell, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of the idea behind it.
Potentially.
Kind of cool.
Sick.
Or if you don't want to get in there and deliver the touch spell because you don't want to touch the monster. Cool.
Ooh.
Alright. So, you all see Ezric's familiar as you head towards your watch.
Ezeric,
Ezra just
look
like
out,
goes to sleep.
look out, Ezeric, look out.
Look out.
Yeah, there's a dragon after you. Look out.
Ezra goes to sleep.
What does the dragon do?
Yeah, what is? That's the important part.
It just
Oh,
kills.
the dragon like
It's not a
is-
dragon. It's like just a bird, right?
yeah the
It's a
phoenix,
phoenix.
excuse me. The phoenix just kind of like curls up in a ball.
How big is it?
Like I would picture it like hawk size personally.
Oh,
It's
Had to go-
tiny.
Yeah.
It's about,
Could-
yeah.
could
I mean, like,
he have the
tiny relative to
familiar-
you is being normal.
Could he have the familiar watch, too? Does that count? Can he give it a command and say, I don't know.
I
how
believe
familiars
so,
work.
yeah.
Like stand guard.
like,
That's
Wake
true.
me up or something? No,
yeah,
no, I
it's
mean, no. He's asleep. I was just curious
Yeah, yeah,
for future stuff. That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
it's like a full party member.
Yeah, for sure. He is.
Zan's like still half asleep, like kind of trying to wake up enough to keep watch.
Ro walks up next to him and slaps him on the back. Yeah, I felt this feeling before. You feel like there's nowhere else to go. Your bones are crushed. Your innards are jelly. You just gotta flex. Keep going forward. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just you need some what the uplanders call coffee. Just drink some of that up. I think it's a state of mind.
Yeah. That sounds nice.
Look, anyway, we got this. I slap him on the butt. Come on, let's keep going.
I'm already sitting down like on a rock, so it's really awkward.
No, come on, get up. Get up. We gotta. This is our watch. This is our most prestigious moment. We've been chosen. We're the strongest of the bunch. We need to keep watch of this entire group. This
You're being-
flock.
You're being really loud.
No, come
we
on.
want-
I'm
we probably
whispering.
want-
This is
Yeah, I'm
my
like-
voice.
I go,
This
hey,
is my
Ro,
voice.
Ro.
Yeah.
Is there a problem?
No. Well, except for
the
this
fuck
guy doesn't feel like getting up and taking watch.
No,
He's
I'm
being
already.
lazy.
I'm already at the door.
Look at him sitting on a rock.
I'm
I
already
slapped him on
there.
the. I slapped him on the butt and told him I'm ready to go, and he just sat down.
I immediately go back to sleep.
We
Let
want to-
bygones be bygones. John,
want- we
let's
want to-
Bygones be bygones.
let's bygones be bygones. Let's go.
It's like we want to kind of blend in. No, you don't need to leave. We are protecting our friends. We're not leaving to go get into trouble.
I'm doing the
Whoa.
the gonk. What's the guy from Emperor's New Groove?
Kronk.
I'm doing the Kronk dance.
And he's doing his own theme music too. Oh, Zahn literally just stays where he's at. He's gonna keep watching.
Even though Ro is doing his own theme music, he is listening for those Karen stones that he set up to see if in the distance he hears the faint echoes of stones
Okay.
falling down.
Alright. Why don't both of you make a... actually, just roll a d20 for me. Just
Oh,
a raw...
a raw 20?
Ooh.
How about them raws?
Mm.
Nah, it's not very good, but I tried.
Okay.
It was raw.
It was raw. It's a raw deal.
17.
Oh no! What are we rolling against? Goblin kills you.
as you're dancing and flitting about
Dump.
the cavern, um, in one of your little moments, the one where you get a little bit further down the corridor to the northwest, um,
Huh?
you eventually stop, like as you kind of see Zahn just completely ignoring you, and hear one of your little rock things fall over.
Oh my god, my
At
Karen.
least you think it
Karen
is. I
number
mean,
27.
it could be just the sound of some rocks falling elsewhere.
But it wasn't. It
but
definitely wasn't.
maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
I could tell it wasn't. No rock would fall if I set it up properly. Why do we have like nighty night music?
Is everyone sleeping?
Because we're going nighty night.
I guess.
This is
Well,
Final
you guys
Fantasy
are.
VIII.
Yeah. You rest in your mog house.
What are you doing? Do you just want to? Chill?
Which way did the Karen fall from?
I feel like you heard it over
Guitar
there somewhere.
intensifies.
I
shit,
need to go,
okay.
I need to go back to the
Psst, psst, Zahn. Zahn,
more appropriate.
What?
Zahn, come here. I've been setting up traps, little alarm systems this whole way.
Well,
One of them fell this way.
come here.
No, you come here. We need to find out what caused the trap to fall down.
You're yell whispering. Just whisper. Come here.
Just. Okay, alright, I'm coming to you.
Okay.
Shh.
Okay.
Shh.
Okay.
And then I kind of a little louder and slowly I go, one of my traps fell down. We should investigate.
So, why did you set the trap?
Because there's probably monsters coming to get us.
Okay, so shouldn't we lie here and wait as an ambush to get them when they come?
No, they're gonna murder us. We have to get the upper hand.
Well,
We have to set up.
Hey, that's why you and I are watching, yeah?
I'm a murderer. I know how these guys function.
Yeah, but if you stay here, you'll be able to get the jump on them and kill them without them knowing. But if you go out there, you could make some noise.
Look, I think I have some head drama. So I'm going to agree with you on this one. But let it be known, Dark Elves, you gotta take the offensive on them. Whoever gets the first hit wins. It's like that old game chess.
Wait,
Whoever gets the first hit wins.
don't mean to be insensitive, but aren't you also, of... He looks at his skin but doesn't say anything. Just like lets it awkwardly fall to silence.
Yes, I'm one of the street elves. What? I know what you're talking about.
I mean, so if the one that gets hit first usually dies, then shouldn't you be like wait for them to come here and then ambush them?
I've never been hit.
Zahn literally looks down at his body that is just like cut to shreds. And remembers how Zahn had to jump off of a bridge to save his dumb ass in the spider webs, and just as sure, I'm
No, sir, I've never been hit. Ro looks at his cape and his tunic, his what he's wearing jail clothes still, right? Like he's wearing like basically like underpants and like a shirt. Is that the deal?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all dirty, right? It's all browned and like just all right. He kind of like he strips himself and he holds it in front of him, and then he goes against the wall and he kind of blends in with the wall. I look like a rock.
I can see him perfectly.
Well, because you know the secret.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Zahn, are you doing anything in particular?
I'm literally gonna sit here, just like
Wait.
we're supposed to do for our watch.
Okay.
Just take your clothes off and stand against the wall like this. You'll be imperceptible.
I mean, I am pushed against like the rocks, so
78. Oh no, what is that?
Is that?
What is that?
Why is that?
Why are you so big on that roll?
Okay.
You're dead.
Ro, in particular, you hear another one of your little stone mounds.
Karen's?
Yes, and you get a sense that they're moving to the northwest of you, from that crossroads where you heard the first noise.
Zahn, they're moving away. It's like a thunderclap.
Zahn just holds up his hands because I'm pretty sure Zahn probably heard something too.
They're moving away.
Just let them go. Let them go.
You're talking to a rock right now. Shh. I'm a rock. And then I hold my breath. I hold my breath and I listen.
I'd like to think that the two of you just sit in awkward silence for the next 2 hours while you wait
Yep.
out the rest of your
Yep.
watch. Yeah. Okay.
And
I
Rose
think
being super seriously a rock, right?
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
a rock. I'm super, but like Zahn can totally see him like outlined perfectly the whole time. But is it only because he knows? Because he
The world may never know.
it will know soon.
Zahn, who are you waking up?
Nalian.
Alright. And Ro, who are you waking up?
Oh man. Oh boy. I also go over to Neil.
As
Hey,
he
buddy.
comes up to him, I point at the dark elf. Get Zareth.
Look, there's some people to the north. I don't want to wake anybody else up. I don't quite trust them except for you, Stool. And I put my hand on Stool's head and I kind of rub him. Stool, I trust you above everyone else. You're so honest. Yeah.
You're waking
Everyone
Stu
knows
up?
exactly what you're thinking. And I rub Stool in the head and I wake Stool up. Yeah, that's him.
Alright. Nalian, you and Stool have been woken for watch.
That is correct.
Oh,
Hello?
I wanna
hear you.
before they go off, I wanna tell Nalian about the Karen stones. And if you listen just right, and you work out the wind direction, and you get rid of the wind direction, he should know because he's a ranger. It's like, look, if
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're pointing northeast, you gotta listen southwest. It's like you just get rid of that wind direction, you can hear the Karen stones perfectly. And I set up a whole bunch of them, and they're getting tripped into the north west, I believe. I tell him that, and then I close my eyes and
Okay. Are you still on in Discord, Casey? Oh
Uh-oh.
shit. I thought he froze, yeah.
he is frozen. No! In our time of need, we need Casey.
Alright, well, you know what? I need a drink and a snack. Let's just take
Okay.
a minute real quick.
I'll fucking chow down on this
BRB.
sandwich. Got just lying around. Sandwich got lying around.
I'm actually really curious. If I healed Ezric, would he take damage?
Look, that's something I've been wondering about for a while, and we gotta test it at some point.
If
I
you
would've,
heal him?
except I didn't have any. I didn't have any spells left. Well, because here, if Ezric's undead, then any heal spells I do to him will actually hurt him.
I don't think he's undead. I think he's just undying.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know what
undead. I'm not actually undead.
I don't know what that means.
I just pray to the god of the undying.
But
It's a
you're
little
undead.
misleading.
Satan?
I don't think I'm actually undying.
Oh.
I mean, undead.
like
I'm
if I
just
do
a
turn
warlock.
undead, you wouldn't get caught in it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hold on, I have an actual answer here. I'm just looking for the right things.
Crazy, I don't know how much you heard, but I told you about the Karen Stone traps that I have set up. And because you're a ranger, I'm expecting that you know exactly what.
Tell them to me again.
I set up stones. I stacked stones on top of each other
Okay.
while we were walking into this cave
Okay.
at particular intervals. And if they fall over, I'm assuming that it's not just the environment knocking them over. It's a
Mhm.
monster.
Okay.
It's something. And I hear them towards the northwest.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I think what's his lips woke me up.
Me? Zahn?
Yeah, Zon, that's his name.
Yeah, what's his lips?
the nuts guy.
That's me.
Anyways, so Zon, he woke me up, and so I was gonna say, Zon, anything exciting happened?
Ro turned into a rock, and he
Mhm.
danced around the cave for a little bit.
Mhm.
But I knew if I just let him tire himself out, he would settle down eventually.
On paper, it sounds so peaceful.
I'm so tuckered out.
And he's
So-
just tired now. See, look at him just sleeping over there. Already asleep, poor guy.
Oh man, so
We
tired.
heard rocks. Well, we heard something to the northwest. And so just keep an eye out if you need me. I will sleep more towards the entrance of the cave so you can just elbow me and I'll get up.
Alright.
Good luck.
I'll watch the northwest whenever my game loads in here.
Oh,
Alright.
and I woke up Stool. He's your companion.
Oh, sorry.
And I move more towards the entrance of the cave, Fitty. I'll be like over here. Close enough for Nalian if he needs me.
Alright. I like that.
Me too.
I really like that Stool is like R2. Like I hope we never lose Stool.
Aw.
I love
Cursed
him. I love him. Nah, he's dying in like one
He signed
episode.
his death.
He's fucking dead.
Noted.
We had Grimlaw for like 20 episodes. We can have fucking R2D2. We could do it, guys. Don't ever kill Stool.
Alright.
Fucking Grimlaw.
Grimlaw's still alive though, isn't he?
He is alive. He's like a demigod at the end of the game.
He's sentient.
Yeah,
My hero.
he's smarter than all of us. He had the crown on him.
Yeah, but he's as dumb as rocks when you take it off.
Yeah, he is retarded.
My favorite thing. My favorite thing of that whole thing was everyone conspiring to take away the crown at the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
Or
Well-
we should probably take it away.
He got
like
too
that.
smart.
It's like that Batman comic where he has a plan to kill every hero, but it's only his backup contingency plan if one of them were to go bad, because he's the only one who's not super, so he has to have a backup
Oh shit.
plan. And his plans fall into the hands of the wrong person, and it starts to kill all the heroes. And
Oh,
then
shit.
all the heroes realize, or he admits to the heroes, like, uh-oh, these are mine, but it's not me. And then they all get pissed at Batman because he had a plan to kill all of them.
What a dummy. Why?
That's a good plot.
That's really cool, actually. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
I loved it.
That's like
Maybe
the
have a
original.
plan. But maybe not write it down.
Right.
Throwing it out there.
Keep it in your head.
That was like
keep it in a text document. goddammit.
what was that movie where you could curve the bullets?
Wanted.
That's kind of the plot of Wanted in the comic books. It's a band of hero killers, and they use their bullet curving abilities to kill like Superman and the Flash and shit. And they take little mementos when they murder people. So some of the murderers have like Superman's cape and like the Flash's helmet and shit. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Give me one more minute, 1 second.
Movie. It was alright. Actually, I like that movie. It's one of my guilty pleasures. I'll admit it.
Never even heard of it.
Wanted?
What? Really?
It's got Angelina Jolie and that one guy in it.
Wanted?
James McAvoy.
What? Go watch the trailer right now while we're on break.
Yeah.
I think it's James McAvoy and even Chris Pratt's in there.
Yeah. Wanted trailer. I'm Doing this right now. Yep, there
Morgan
it is.
Freeman?
Yep.
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah, he's the main dude.
He the dude.
I can't believe you haven't heard this movie. I'm watching him right now. Wesley Gibson.
I've never heard of this.
I think you kind of have to watch it.
I'm intrigued. It's good?
It's okay.
It's not a good movie, but it's kind of cool. Oh, you're skipping through now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
the
if I wanna
whole
watch it,
movie's
I
about
wanna see all of
a
it.
band of assassins that can curve bullets, like super smart people.
Alright.
Alright. So,
They believe it, babe. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you and Stool sitting out on the stoop watching the Underdark.
Oh, will you push me that map again? A hot map?
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Give me that hot map. Excuse me.
Yeah, I like Stool. I think that out loud.
Stool understands you. I like Stool.
No, he's great.
Oh, he's like a pine cone. He's R2D2.
So,
yeah.
Stool expends some of his spores when you guys wake him up over while he's sleeping, but mostly you can tell an alien and you can hear him think it as soon as like they kick in that he just wanted to be able to talk to you while you were stuck on watch for 4 hours.
Oh, you can communicate with Stool directly? This is the best ever. I can't wait.
No. We're connecting right now.
No.
Oh, no. Dude, I'll be right back. Sorry, I have a crying baby.
Okay.
Oh no. I love that also Casey got called on chat about a crying baby. Oh no. This is our time. What else can we talk about? Let's talk about how is this map accurate? Is there a big crack in the middle with some bones?
If you want there to be.
I do.
Yeah.
Ro examines the bones as he's having trouble sleeping. He gets up and kicks around some rocks a little bit and gets down at the bones.
You're quite large.
He percepts them.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, so there's some bones.
Yeah, you're not exactly sure what that is.
Is there like a skull in there? Is there like a skull or some
Yeah, it's part
like
of
a
the
leg?
skull. You kind of see
Is
like
there
the eye
teeth,
socket.
like jagged teeth on it, or is it a plant eater?
It's more just like around the eye socket.
Hey Quinn. Should we get dinner tomorrow?
Yeah, Sean.
Oh shit, sorry guys.
Oh my god. Oh, here's Casey.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's alright.
I have a baby that cries.
All good.
I don't know why
How
they do that.
unusual.
Yeah, I don't get it. They just do that sometimes, and it's like, hey, baby, shut up.
Just
Go
look,
to sleep.
Just go to sleep. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's that easy. And they're like,
That was like what I told Ro like 5 minutes ago.
Look, I had to do the dance. I had to make sure my surroundings were good. I got the Karens. You got the Karens?
so I just looked northwest, and I let Stilden look that way. By the way, I am very grumpy. Very, very grumpy. Because I did not sleep well. Between hearing about dreams, the first watch, and then followed by this dancing shenanigans that Ro was doing. And all I was trying to do was get back to that place where I could see her again. And it just kept waking me up, and I am just like really pissed. So I'm not in a good mood.
Can
So.
I want you to look down on the ground if you can, if you percept it.
If I want to later.
Actually,
maybe.
you know what? I'll say this: do you perceive anything out of the ordinary, like some markings on the ground?
Yeah, I guess I look around my consternation.
Alright. Make a perception check for me.
Oh yeah. I'll do that. Hold on, let me pull up my perceptions, and it starts with a P because it is for me.
Oh.
You don't see anything that I'm aware of.
Oh no. Damn it.
I
All
didn't
right,
know if
hold
you
on.
left him something there.
I did. I want to leave him something. All right, hold on. I'll message you, but we could. All right, I'll message the watcher. Message
All right.
watcher.
That'll work. Casey, you pull the mic away just a little bit.
Oh yeah, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
New setup right now.
All good, man. So when you first kind of settle in, there's a moment that goes by where like it's kind of silent. You're just really staring out into the northwest passageway here, and Stool kind of waddles up next to you
Uh-huh.
a little bit, and almost like a little
Oh shit.
puppy trying to like nuzzle your leg and get your attention.
Okay.
He's kind of like going through that like a little bit, and then like assuming you eventually like look down and acknowledge him.
I do.
Okay, he starts to kind of do like a little like left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, kind of like hop,
Aw,
like
he's
almost
cute.
of excitement. And as he's doing this, like vivid colors just kind of pour into your mind until
Yes.
the point where like it's painting like this surreal, colorful portrait in your mind's eye. And
Whoa.
as he finishes like dancing and hopping around and back and forth, he finally stops and settles, like knowing that he's communicated this place to you. And looks up and you hear him think, "Neverlight Grove."
Oh, it's where he's from.
We will go there.
Are those his people?
He's kind of nodding a little bit.
We will get there. First, we must get out of here.
You hear like mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You you know, a lot of time passes. I mean, he seems
I watched that northwest pretty hard because of the previous intel, by the way.
okay.
Really focusing.
I mean, every now and then, Stool seems like he's trying to pass the time, trying to think thoughts that might resonate with you. I don't know if there's anything in particular you wish to discuss with the little guy. Otherwise, you know, he kind of splits between that and like almost waddling to the south passageway and kind of like stopping and twisting his form a little bit every now and then. But then he always more times than not seems to kind of come up near your leg where you're watching and stay closer to you. You can tell he's trying to be a little brave, but he's a little anxious.
Oh, brave little stool.
Oh, okay. I tell him, don't worry, Stool. I'll keep a good eye out for you. Stay close. And then I don't really talk to him. I just
Okay.
keep really a watchful eye, but I also don't have any ill will.
Okay. At one point, like during the watch, you hear him think for a moment. She's pretty.
Stool said that?
Yeah.
I say to Stool, at first I turned shocked, but realizing that it is no fault of his, only of my own, that this woman keeps running through my mind.
Oh, okay.
I kind of snicker a little bit. I say, "Have you seen her before?"
Kind of chimes in. He says, I can see her now. Can't do that.
Oh.
Get invaded. I'm in you.
She's an interesting one.
You feel him thinking about her, and
Mm.
she kind of forms even
Ooh.
more clearly. It's almost like he took the little fragments of your thoughts
Yeah,
and put them together like a puzzle, and it was like, ah.
I want him to feel the mystery that shrouds her, because I too do not know.
Who is she? But
you
she's
and,
pretty.
You and Stool both think about her image for a moment before it disappears from both of your minds. A lot of a lot more time passes, and you find it to be pretty quiet, pretty uneventful.
Oh. Karen Stone's ho.
Uh, while your next 3-ish hours go by, you start to hear some of the other prisoners kind of rise, and despite how exhausted they were, even 5 to 8 hours in this little cave here seems to be enough to have at least rejuvenated most of you. So, have a long rest.
Oh shit!
Is anyone changing their prepared spells? I think I'm mostly looking at Oscar.
Oscarlito.
Oscar's
No,
dead.
I think I'm good.
You good? Okay. Alright. Does anyone else prepare spells? I always fucking forget.
Does Sean?
It'll only be the ranger.
I think I'm good.
I think the ranger, once they know him, they know
Yeah,
them.
you just know 'em, that's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, so.
I'm preparing some spells.
I will prepare spells.
I'm gonna prepare like fist punch, flurry of blows.
Alright.
I hope that both of those, your fist comes flying through the scroll hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blow of jobs. You do the rusty tromboners.
You'll be known through all the land as the scroll hole.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
I will make doubly sure of this.
So much knowledge within.
The scroll hole.
In case an alien should fall upon a sword, I will perpetuate this story.
So how are you preparing for your next departure here? What are you doing? What's the plan?
Do we have any food?
I don't know. I don't recall anyone taking any from the kitchen.
I have. Oh damn it! I have good berries. Like it's just. I
Berries,
speak up.
one good berry does give you a full day's worth of nourishment.
And don't I get like 10 of them or something per good berry making?
You do.
I speak up. I have here these mushrooms which I have prepared for everyone. And my good berry is a mushroom, by the way.
Okay.
They glow. They're blue and they glow.
That works for me.
These mushrooms should sustain you for a full day. We call them lambdis mushrooms.
How many of us are there?
This is an old ranger tradition.
6, 8.
Lambdis.
10,
What was it called?
12.
Lambdis something?
I think there's 13 of you.
Lambdis mushrooms.
Lambdis shrooms. Lambdis shrooms.
Lambdis shrooms?
No, I don't know. Where was Landon?
I didn't know you
Lambdis.
knew the slang for them.
Lambdis shrooms.
Does that mean this
It's old ranger technique.
3 people are not getting food?
Yeah. You will have to share.
Yep.
You two over there, you are twins. Obviously, you can share.
Well, I don't think Stool wants to eat his own people, right?
Yeah, Stool, I don't believe you even need to. As you are food. But here, all right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use good berry. I'm gonna use one of my good berries.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll take one too.
Ezric takes one as well.
Me too.
Yep. Here we go. Everyone, I hold my hand out. I take one for myself. Gets
Yeah,
berries.
I grab one.
Alright, yeah, you find them to be a little soilish in flavor, but
You could really
nonetheless,
taste the blue if you close your eyes.
yeah.
Zahn just like quickly eats it and tries not to think about the taste.
Well, it smells a little bit like fertilizer.
I grab it critically when I eat it. I go, it's pretty good. Not like my grandnanny's.
Your granddaddy knew good mushroom?
Lumbus mushroom? Oh, yes.
Lambda shroom?
Lumdashroom, yes.
Dang.
Mm.
Do we have the same granddaddy?
An old ranger technique. I don't know how to do it myself.
The twins seem fine sharing. Kind of just each take, like one takes a bite and she gives it to her brother.
That's
Casey-
disgusting.
Casey, Mike Drake. And Stool abstains. Who else? Who else is splitting one?
Oh, I
Probably
don't know.
Shushar, the peaceful dude. He can split one.
Yeah.
Do you say that out loud?
No, I just eat one and just let everybody else figure it out.
Shushar.
Everyone eats one except for-
Shushar and Jim Jar split one.
Yeah, Shushar and Jinjar look and there's only one left in the palm of my hand, and I look at them and I kind of like nod and I extend my hand.
Alright. Almost everyone is fully rested. You feel nourished enough to kind of go on for a whole day here. You are still relatively close to the outpost and everything that was going on there. Ro, I marked spell slot off for your good berries.
Thank you.
But oh shit, cat, why?
Oh, shit, cat.
How are you? Like, what's the travel plan here?
I'll lead the way, and I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Oh,
Why
man.
don't you go up front with
Yeah, I'm gonna go up front
Sarah.
at least. Yep.
Sereth? let Sereth like guide.
Ezric's going to send Xenope to orbit whoever takes the lead.
I mean, I would say, Fiddy, we're still trying to be quiet. We're still trying to just like put distance between us and the
Which land are we
Camp.
going towards? I think is the main.
whichever lane we were going down the night before. I'm trust Sereth. Sereth knows this area pretty well.
Sereth knows it fairly well. It's certainly a lot more than anyone else in the group here.
Sareth, I require a guide. We are all willing to back you. We need to get to your lands. Do you know the way?
I know the way fairly well. It's probably about 7.5 days of travel if we
7.5
move
days.
at a quote-unquote normal pace, which is about 6 miles per day that you all travel.
Ezric
Laughing
shoots
deer.
Oscar a glare.
Laughing deer,
Alter-
damn it! I will not leave
alternatively-
anyone behind.
Alternatively, you can move at a faster pace, but you have a much bigger penalty to seeing things before they see you, and you wouldn't have time to forage or gain any supplies on the way.
Yeah, we'll go normal pace.
Slow pace would allow you to collectively move with basically the benefit of stealth, and you'd have improved foraging and other sort of.
We shall be going the
Time.
accelerated way. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go the slow way.
We can just do like probably a normal pace unless we like get in a situation where we feel like we need to go slow.
Okay.
But I think for the most part, going a normal pace is fine.
All right, it's about normal pace. He's telling you it's almost going to be 8 days of travel to Sloop.
Fiddy, I changed some spells around.
All right.
I pull Nalian and Zahn and Ezric aside, and also not Pupito. Where's my old dude? There we go, Oscar. I pull I pull the core group aside. I huddle with them.
You notice that Prince Darendil is standing really close to all of you, looking over you like a concerned big brother.
I kind of kick her. All right, I pull him in. Pull in Prince Darendil. Come here. Look, guys. We have about 8 days of travel, and I only have 2 days of good berry left on me. I'm concerned that we won't have enough food to make it to our destination. I can only produce so many mushrooms. Lamdashrooms.
Well, we shall have to keep our eyes out for food that is around here.
Should we not find any, we'll be traveling to our deaths.
Well, it's either
There's
travel
a lot
to our
of-
deaths or sit here to our deaths.
Either way, I say we move.
All right, well, be on the lookout for food. Otherwise, we will surely perish on our journey.
I would say that as we're traveling, Zahn will make sure to keep an eye out, and anybody else. I'm sure we all will.
They look just like this, and I hold out one of my purple mushrooms, palm of my hand. Just like this.
I'd say, in terms of like luck and skill and ability, just to keep things sort of abstract and simple. Any of you who have a skill point in survival can make a survival check.
I do.
And if you get an 11 or higher, you find a small amount of edible mushrooms.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Both of you, say, since we're only doing it once a day, let's say if 2 or more of you succeed, you get enough to actually feed everyone for a day.
Heyo, there we go.
So you
Does that count?
Yeah. So yeah.
As long as we're proficient.
You are, yeah. Do you have a?
Yeah, Prof Bros.
Yeah,
Prof
Mr.
Bros.
Joseph. Yeah, so there's 3 of
All
you.
right,
Yeah,
so we feed
two
everybody
out,
for the next
I like
day.
that. So two out of 3 of you succeed on a DC 10. Then you have enough food for the day. If only one of you does, you have enough for half the group.
Oh
Or
shit.
half the day.
People start rationing. Okay, so we're good for
But
the...
again, like that's at a normal pace. If you run into issues, you can go slower and you get improved foraging.
Yep.
All right. So Sareth continues to lead you all what feels like, if you were to look at this from a top-down map that had 4 sides to it, the equivalent of going west. He's taking you further and further away from the outpost. That being said, the many passageways, small streams, really bizarre fungal growths here and there where you manage to find a lot of food on this day. It's all so strange and alien to any of you who haven't spent a significant amount of time down here before. In some places, caverns reach unimaginable heights, possibly miles above, before any sounds, echo, or anything can be seen. But you continue on, and about halfway through the day, you all feel like you potentially heard something. You can't tell if you're just starting to get exhausted, but you all kind of agree to like pause for a moment. All of you can make a perception check.
Oh, percept. Dang. Oh, no. There it is. That natural.
Okay.
I get like really distracted by the rocks in front of me.
This is a good igneous rock.
You start confusing rocks for Rose.
Well, I'm like looking for food, and I'm like, oh, I think what is that? Like looking under
I slap
a rock,
it out of
not
its
paying
head.
attention.
That's the wrong kind. That would kill you.
You spot up ahead as you're all kind of taking in like what the fuck made that sound. You spot up ahead, Ezric, a break in the passageway that you've been traveling through with Sereth, and it almost feels like a kind of natural path formation through broken bits of rock. And Ro, as you look a bit more closely where he's looking, both you and Nalian actually see a sort of bit of glowing light kind of bouncing off the inner wall of this cracked opening that branches
Oh,
off from
That's
where you are.
awesome.
there's a glowing light ahead. Does Ro find it familiar? Or is it?
From this distance, you're not sure, but you could kind of move a bit closer ahead of the group if you wanted to take a look.
I will sneak just a bit. I'm gonna take just a little peek.
Okay, I'll tether the two.
I give you a shoulder rub.
Oh, my shoulders. If only you could do that to my eyes.
Ezric sends Xenope with attached to Row, orbiting Row.
What is this bat? Hovering. I swat at it.
So going forward,
Shh.
you have to
Yeah.
tell me if you're gonna do like warg mode in him. Like he can still telepathically communicate to you without that,
Hmm.
but you have to be specific if you're doing the whole I'm going blind and deaf
Okay.
to look through
Yeah,
the
let's
map.
let's do that for now.
You are doing that.
Yeah, I am doing
You
Okay.
that.
can't move. You can't move if that
Okay.
happens.
You all like you go. Imagine you're in some random part. I'm just using this map for like basic representation. But you go up to this crack, and it's about. I mean, it's wide enough that two very skinny humanoid creatures could move side by side through it, easily one after the other. But you get closer to the wall, and you approach the glowing crack. Um, and
Oh no.
as you peek in, you see in front of you what looks to be like an open cavern beyond the one that you were traveling through, with like a lava swell flowing through it.
What? Is it glowing like red?
Mm-hmm.
Nellian, it's a lava swell. We must be deep underground by the Earth's core.
Is that what it is? Since we should both know since we are,
Yeah, yeah.
Underdarkish.
yes, so familiar with this train.
I mean, you've seen these before. Basically, in sometimes winding corridors, like a tremor will occur. Maybe some sort of subterranean creature that burrows through stone, like traveled through here and opened up a passageway that let lava seep up
That would
into
not be
this
good.
area. Um, but you see this fissure, and you know that it's not that unfamiliar, but it's certainly not something that you see all the time down here.
Okay.
Is it something that will obstruct us if we don't move quickly? Like, is it spreading?
No, no, no. Like this looks like contained, almost like it's its own little pool of lava, like a little mini pond. You both can make a perception check while you're looking at this, and Ezric, your little dude, as well has perception on his little sheet. I think you have
Oh, okay.
access
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it
yeah.
if you double click his token.
I do.
Damn!
It's just
I'm just
in
gonna find it.
it's just in the
You're a
text there
roller coaster
under
of rolls
skills
tonight.
beneath the boxes at the top. You just double click on the text where it
Yes.
says stealth.
Oh
Oh.
my!
Bird don't see too good.
No, he
Yeah.
don't.
Ro, you're sort of taking in the natural little lava swell here,
Yep,
and
that's a lava swell.
uh, Nalian, you spot on the opposite side of it a appears to be like a wagon cart.
What?
You almost don't notice because it's kind of like tucked behind some stalagmite formations just past the lava. And you see, let's see how many. You see 3 small figures sitting around the wagon, like leaning against the wheel. Some of them with like what appear to be rags or blankets over across them. They appear to be camped out, as far as you can tell.
Okay. Camped out. Okay. Sleeping camped out or awake?
You can't tell from this distance. They are probably about 100 feet away from you right now,
Row!
behind a decent amount of
Hey.
cover.
Hey, what's up?
Wait. There are people over there.
Oh, and I squint my eyes a little closer. Oh, so there are. How could I have missed that?
Xenop's kind of just like
Bird.
chirping right now, just chirp, 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 chirp.
Yeah,
Bird.
actually,
Relay the info, bird. I don't know how to do that. I just tell that to the bird.
I'd say Zeno is tripped out too, right? Like when you rolled that 1, you probably like severed your warg link and back to your body.
Yeah.
Bird, tell your master what Bird!
Oh, can we
It's
call him
just
Bird?
like- It's just like looking around.
Is it working? Is it working? I can't tell.
Is this thing working?
I'm gonna
I
go see
wanted
what's
to
taking
lasso.
so long.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up. Oh, there's a bird.
You see the bird go flying past.
What's the
Quietly sneak around and see what is in front of us.
Eric? What is your bird saying?
It
It's
seems
called a
seems confused.
About what?
Now-
Something has obviously startled it.
Okay, I'll go find out.
In my mind, I honestly thought that the bird left with the message. Just,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that's what the bird. I just thought it was a dumb bird. I was just gonna deliver it.
I want to sneak up and then I'll like get right behind Nelly and be like, "Hey, what's going on?"
And then I want to punch him in the face.
Oh,
Really alert.
that's
Yeah.
pretty.
Not like whoop.
I'm gonna catch his fist.
Oh, resisting.
That'd be awesome.
Do it.
Can we do this? Can we do this?
Yeah, resist it.
What do I have to do?
And what do
Just
I have
tell
to
me
do
what I
to
have to
you?
do.
He's punching who?
I am
So
a
he's
monk.
trying to jump behind me and stab me, and I
feel
was like really rigid, and I flinched, turned around, tried to punch him. Whoever it was behind me, that's what we're trying to do.
And I'm gonna
I stand-
catch his fist in my hand.
He's going to
Stand your
try
jaw
to.
height.
Alright,
Try to.
Nalian, roll an unarmed strike, and Zahn, you can roll a dexterity.
Oh
save.
god.
Oh god. Someone's losing a tooth or a finger. Okay, 7, not the best. 4, not the best.
Oh, Zahn, you get the upper hand in this moment here.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
fucking barely.
What are you doing, child?
What?
There are people sleeping over here.
What
We
is
haven't made
going?
contact yet.
What's going on? I just saw.
If you weren't playing games, you would. The bird
Oh,
was sent
shit.
it back to tell you.
Eric says he doesn't speak bird.
Well, that bird fucking sucks, so I can tell you that. It comes out here and cockle-doodle-doos, wakes me up. Fucking can't stand that thing, I'll tell you.
I know the fucking burb.
There you go.
I used to have a burb.
That's
when I
its
was-
name, a bird.
Yeah, it's burb. That's what I heard it was called. It's called a phoenix burb. Fine. Fee bird.
It's a very rare burb.
It's as ridiculous as its name.
Okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing? And
Well, Ro is running
that's-
recon right now as we speak.
okay, I'll get it.
God.
I'll get everyone. Are we all doing this? Are we getting in?
Well, it's
I'm
already
around the
in.
corner of a
It's
stalagmite.
already in.
I'm in.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go back. I get back far enough to where people can see me, and I do the hand gesture. Where's
Caca!
stealing second base hand gesture.
Ooh.
Like
Ezra and Xenop group up with the hand gestures.
you understand them somehow.
I come-
As Sarah gets close, and I just say, "I don't know what I was signing there, but there are guys up here, so we should probably, get ready to kill things.
Did you just signal for second base being
Ezra
taken?
pats Thon on the shoulder and says, "It's okay. I knew what you meant."
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
he had seen it before.
Does Rose see anything around the stalagmite?
Make a perception check for me, please.
If not, he wants to. Well, even if he wants to hand signal round stalactite, like with like ranger motions
Well,
with hands.
I see that silhouette.
Beep 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 boop boop.
You
Even though I see it, I don't know what they mean yet.
It means like cart. It means like cart, river. You see their hand signals for river and cart and careful.
There's a careful cart river over here.
Yes, be careful.
He says.
You think all the forms appear to be either asleep or at least resting. One of them appears to have. 1 second here.
This could be our payday, boys.
We just escaped jail and we're
Wait.
like,
Are you still naked?
Yes.
I believe so. Your balls are just out.
What?
This could
where,
be it.
Where would I have gotten clothes at this point, dude?
Oh,
I mean,
can you hold?
You could have asked one of the people in our group if you could
Borrow their
Where-
pants.
hold
make a
stool in
loincloth.
front of
I don't
yourself all the time, like as
well, I mean,
cover.
I'm not gonna refuse it if somebody offers it, but I'm not some beggar. I'll take help always if someone. I'm just gonna. Hey, can I get some dong cloth?
A banana hammock.
How many
Uh,
episodes has an alien been naked for so far?
This is the
3, I
second.
think. A
This is the
second, okay.
Second? Okay.
I think. Well, actually, it might be the third. I don't remember now.
I think it started 3 ago, but it was at the very end, and so it was like one full episode.
Good to know. Good to know. Just keep it track.
You spot what you think are 3 small humanoids, and near the front of the cart or the wagon that you couldn't see before are 2 steeders, which you know of as these Underdark dwelling tarantula-like creatures, about as big
They're
as
called steeders.
but yeah, about as big as ponies.
Oh, but they're spiders.
They are spider-like, yes. And you know that they are often used as like pack animals by Dwerger, deep dwarves.
All right, I don't fully communicate everything. Like I don't have the proper communication, but I manipulate my hands to say spider, and rider, and many. Spider, rider, many.
Balls in your court, peoples. Whatever you want to do.
And then pull up, like come closer. Like that's the hand signal I make.
Let's just get closer, everybody. Come on.
Come to the hands.
I'm gonna stealthing.
Me too.
Guys, look, I don't know if you could see over there with your non-elven eyes, but look, there's a cart, and there's some riders, and they look like spiders. Spider riders.
I lay very low as we come up here.
Are there any other?
Shorten it to sight.
Shh.
Are there other passageways around us? Is this
Well, yeah,
just like
this
this is
like-
lava, right?
While you guys are like
Past the lava.
heading into this opening, you hear Sereth from behind. It's like, that's not even the best way to go.
What do you mean? Is he like pointing? Is he doing anything?
Come up here.
Yeah, he's
Come
kind
up.
of he's kind of gesturing around like this. This is like a natural opening that looks like it's used clearly by humanoids. But the area that he had you traveling on, there was like a more well-traveled path through parts of the caverns that you were on. This looked like some natural opening, but kind of a weird offshoot branching pathway.
Friends, it may be best to follow Sereth this time.
Yeah. I actually agree with Sarek for once. I look at him and I kind of give a nod, like, yeah.
Ezric winks back.
Hey,
As best as he can wink.
Nelian, is there a reason you want to go to the cart over there? I think we should probably just keep going on the path, yeah?
Well, yes, but it might have clothes or, I don't know, something for me to wear.
Are you
or-
feeling self-conscious? I mean, we've all seen it for like 3 days.
No, we are in the Underdark, and there are things that creep and crawl here. I don't want it in me, Johnson.
What is this word, Johnson?
Oh, this is gonna be really funny. I'm sorry, Nelian. I'm really sorry. It's taken me like 3 days to realize I have this. I have, I have traveler's clothes here, just in my pack
Oh my god.
that I had.
You've been
picked up
naked this whole time.
from-
Funny joke.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I sell them to him.
I must have forgot my wallet, and I turn around, and you hear that after just slap.
They're so valuable right now.
Dude, I've got 3 sets of clothes, so I'm sorry.
You have
didn't
3
realize.
sets of clothes.
It's like
Well,
Dumb and
do you-
Dumber, dude.
Do you want? I have fine clothes. I have traveler's clothes, or I have vestments.
Are you giving him the option?
Oh,
Why
no, I
would you
just
take
ha-
the fine clothes?
I just hand him the traveler's clothes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
do these look
you like
good?
you
But I
fold
don't know.
the good ones
I don't
up.
know if he sees like the other ones that are in there. I've got like a little pack.
Okay.
I don't complain. I'm covered.
I just,
Or like-
I just kind of smile at him and it's like, I was wondering if you were ever going to ask, and then I just hand it to him and then walk back.
Are like the bad ones like assless chaps and like a tank top? I hope they're like really
of the ones that I
embarrassing.
have.
No,
best
the ones that you gave to him.
Oh no, it's just traveler's clothes.
Okay.
I don't know how to pass this to your inventory, but I wonder if I can put this in the party.
I can do it. Here, hold on.
For now, I only wear the pants.
saving the shirt for a good day.
Did you tie the shirt around your waist?
Yeah, you put it
Not
around
yet.
your neck,
Yeah.
right? Like you tie it around your neck,
Okay, yeah.
like you're going tennising.
Gotta keep your neck warm.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
And those nips rock hard.
Cool, thanks.
Um,
You have 3 sets of clothes.
Well, we had done all the looting. Wasn't paying attention.
You would have 3 sets of clothes.
oh no, he froze again. So with nailing finding another source for pants, his potential inquiry to see if these people had anything to trade is probably less alluring.
I don't know. I mean,
So-
it's less learning for me. But-
So off to the left, there's lava, right?
Yeah, imagine instead of this being a river, it's actually like swells of lava kind of flowing.
Oh, it's ahead of us. Okay, I thought it was to the left. Okay. We should probably not forego the lava, for it will burn us up to a crisp. Where is he? Prince Durendil. Come hither, Prince Durendil. Which is the best way? I do not want to traverse this lava.
I do believe you mean Sereth.
Uh, Sereth and
Darendil,
Prince.
looks at you. I do not know these dark subterranean lands, but I will stay by your side.
Look, that's great because you owe us a life debt. That's the biggest debt you can owe a person. One day I'll remember your name.
Strides forward and says, "No, we have no need to travel off this beaten path." And he kind of looks to the lava swells and Dwerger traders. You can tell that he's like clocking the wagon and the mounts and the sleeping or resting forms on the other side, and probably traveling from Menzo Branson. I'd rather not be seen.
But wait, Sereth, what do these traders usually trade in? What are their wares typically?
Who knows?
You do.
He's like he goes on to like indicate that like you never know what the fuck they're gonna have. They're like traveling gypsies more or less, you know. They travel
Whatever
what
they
they
pick up.
what they what they can find, what they can scrounge up, what they think travelers that they might encounter, or outposts or even cities might have to offer. Or
It could be
interested in.
food, guys. Could be like food and clothes, weapons. But we have to fight on lava. I don't know about the lava.
How do you fight on lava?
You tell me. Give me a good background.
Take the high
Yeah.
ground.
I can't
Yeah.
fight on lava.
Oh,
Where is Sereth right now? Is he like still up there? Is he walking away? Is he
He's
hanging out?
He's heading back to like with the rest of the prisoners.
Okay? Because I was just assuming we weren't going on the way, but
Okay. So which way do we want to go? We can either fight the lava people and get supplies, or we can forego it and get to our destination a little quicker, but have to rely on my good berries.
let's not be seen.
Good berries it is. Sereth, which way?
You look back to reach out to him. You see him standing near Zahn and some of the other prisoners. They all appear to be kind of looking towards the southwest area.
Whoa. That's unexpected. Okay. I'll bite.
Alright. One sec.
Oscar, do you need help?
Yeah, help me.
Here, do you need me to... How much do you weigh?
A lot. I'm a
For an
dwarf.
old man?
So much.
Here,
So
come here.
much.
Here,
I'm
Oscar.
a dwarf, old and squat.
I look at Oscar and I size him up, and I realize that he weighs a lot for a dwarf, but that's like a baby for a real person. And I pick him up and I hoist him on my back like Yoda.
I mean, I guess I'm like 290 pounds.
Really?
Oh my god.
How do you weigh 290 pounds?
I actually don't know how much.
You're like an old fuck.
I mean,
Not
he
very
is the-
You weigh like a fucking ton. I tried to pick you up and I just can't. Like, all right, maybe we just walk.
Oh my god.
Do they have fast food where you're from?
Yeah. 290 pounds of dwarf.
The fastest.
That's a lot of dwarves.
So fast, I couldn't resist.
Okay.
I just ate so much of it.
Okay. Let's see his size.
Uh,
Oh no, I guess I know I'm wrong. I'm like 150. That's fine.
right.
Okay.
What? You're 150? God
I
damn.
I should make myself 200 though. I'm too.
Yeah, you should. It makes
I
sense.
try to pick you up like Yoda, and then I realized this is stupid. I put you down.
But I am like 4 feet tall. It's
You're
200
so-
pounds.
You're so heavy. How did you gain so much weight?
It'd be like my son weighing 200 pounds.
Where do you put it all?
It was crazy.
Ezra can't help but notice a good berry smeared across Oscar's mouth.
Yeah, there's just like purple mushroom stains all over your ropes. What's going on under there? Lift up your robes.
Wouldn't you like to see?
And then he lifts up the rest.
A good berry falls out from his.
I'm saving that for later.
Yeah, bet you were. All right, let's go.
Maybe
Trying to be
later,
nice to you
right
and you're
now.
fat.
Why do you have to fat shame me?
Try and lift you up.
You don't have to fat shame me.
You
Normal where you're from.
you move past the resting traders and follow the more traveled path as Sarah tells you.
Laundry done.
Laundry's done.
Laundry's done.
You continue on for about as long as all of you can without much other incident or events really coming up. It's been, I don't know, probably. Let me double check my travel chart here. Hold on.
Oh, do I need the good berry again?
Let's see.
That's
Well, it's
why not?
basically you're at
You
the
do
end
it
of
every day.
you're at the end of day 1 right now.
Yeah, it's just one a day.
Um,
Sometimes you.
Sarah thinks about 6.5 more days would get you to Slooping.
Oh my god.
Oscar's fingers look like they're just sticky from Goodberry.
Yeah. There's mushroom crumbs everywhere.
It's in his beard.
Yeah.
All right.
I see you.
I'm gonna have
I see
someone
what you're
else
doing.
do the honors for everyone today here. Who? A birthday boy. Roll a d20.
Oh. You're dead 20 times.
Yeah.
Lower is better.
Lower is better? Alright,
Yeah.
lower is better. Let's go. Oh.
Oof, okay.
14 goblins attack you.
Oh boy.
Idiot.
Well, you
Not far
all
off.
on so basically we're jumping ahead to day 2. Now we're getting a little
Yeah.
montagey travel mode. I assume no one really changed anything or wanted to do anything particular the first night.
I am suspicious of Oscar and his mushrooms crumbs in his beard and on his cloak. And he's suspiciously heavy.
I'm a dwarf.
Supposed
Yeah.
to be heavy.
Don't be racist.
You come upon on day 2 after only about an hour and a half of travel. As far as you know, everything's going quite smoothly. But you come across a pretty large ravine. It's about 8 by 10 feet wide, and it looks to be
Oh.
probably about 30 feet deep.
Oh.
It cuts across the entire pathway that Seraph has been leading you towards. You all feel a little dismayed at first, but Seraph kind of keeps waving you on, and you see up ahead a rope bridge spanning across the ravine.
Oh god damn it.
Oh no. Roa's flashbacks.
Not another one. No.
No. My greatest adversary.
My fingers
Bridge.
caress my scimitar handle and I'm nervous that just like clacking it.
So, it looks fairly old, the bridge itself. But
an old bridge.
Seraph inspects it, kind of getting there before anyone else as he's guiding here, and says it should still be fine.
You could go first then. Not a problem, right?
We should probably just go one at a time Because it's
Yeah,
you said
yes,
it's pretty
yeah.
short. It's 8 by
Yeah.
10, so it's
Yeah,
not
one at a
that
time.
far.
Yeah. He goes first. Makes his way across. It sways and swings, and certainly doesn't look like the greatest rope bridge in the world. But he gets across, no problem.
Is it worthwhile to like one of us go across holding one end of a rope, like one of our own ropes, just in case this old rickety thing decides to fall? I don't know. Zahn shrugs. Cool. I'm going to walk across.
I sorry, I posted a video.
Zahn walks across.
Okay. You walk across, no problem.
Okay.
All right.
He made that look easy.
Yeah, it's very easy. You go. You're heaviest.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Take your time.
I take my
200
time.
240-pound motherfucker.
You take your time, and there's, maybe a
200.
moment or two where you feel a bit uneasy, but you make it across, no problem. And everyone else essentially makes it across without any major issues. When you get to the other side, some others look to Row, and they kind of look at you all and say, "Should we cut this one?"
Sure, why not? You know,
Wait,
like,
do we even know
there's-
what is ahead?
here's the deal. A wise man once said, either we can starve here, or we can starve ahead.
Yeah, what if we
gotta
need
keep
to
pushing forward.
retreat?
Ezric walks up to Ro and says, "This is not the time for cutting, my friend."
You would know about cutting, wouldn't you?
I would know about your future.
You hear the Darrow Bukido kind of like chimes in and says, "What if something's or someone's been following us?"
Well,
Has
who's there?
has Ro heard any of his Karen stones recently? In the past day?
No.
I have no reason to believe anything is following. I trust my elven ways. I believe we should tell you what. Let's meet halfway, and I start slicing at the ropes, but I cut them halfway so that if anything was to walk across this bridge, it would cause the bridge to collapse.
Well, it's basically like cutting it.
But it's not. Heh.
It's just a head start.
It's just a head start, and that way, if we want, we can like jump onto the bridge and ride it across. You know, whatever. We got options here, but it's like a trap. Look, guys, I'm setting a trap. I'm gonna cut these ropes halfway through, and if anything comes across like a really overweight
Yeah,
Dwarf?
but
gnomish, it'll just collapse the bridge.
Sereth, is this the only way to get to where we need to go? Is cutting this bridge also cutting off a retreat if we need to make one?
I am doing my best to guide us. I don't know if, we'll run into any complications. Why don't we travel on for a little bit and see, and if you still want to cut it, you could send someone back to do the job.
Maybe the familiar can cut it with its beak.
Oh, ooh. Alright, I got it. I cut one of the sides halfway. If anything walks on it, it's gonna spill the bridge over sideways, and they'll fall off the bridge. But it will still leave a rope going all the way across. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I like it.
I do that. I cut
Compromise.
I cut the right hand side of the rope halfway.
Okay.
Yep.
Seen that before.
I already walked across
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone.
before the first strike.
Oh yeah. This is
I'm on the other side of the bridge. Guys, I got this.
All right. you carry on into day 2 here. Oscar, since you went first, you get to pick who's rolling next on the fate chart.
Oh God.
The fate chart? There's a fate chart?
Oh,
What?
what am I rolling for?
Who's
Fate.
who are you picked Ezric?
Ezric.
Yeah, just roll a regular d20.
What is
Okay.
this? Do you even know what this is that you're rolling for?
He doesn't.
Undying.
Oh,
Right.
did that not work? There we go.
Okay,
That's a
7.
D12.
That's
Oh, what the
That's a
fuck?
12.
I swear to God.
That's
That's-
a 12.
Oh my
That's-
God. Where's my 20 then?
It's on the far left. What's the
Oh.
what's the reset?
There you
Did
go.
that work?
There you go.
Yeah.
12.
12. You all carry on for the rest of day 2 and have no
Oh my God.
further notable complications. What we should do, though, is have all of the rangers make a survival check for foraging.
Unless Casey is being really, really still.
I saw him
I think
disconnected.
I think he's asleep.
Head back.
Where is foraging at? I don't see foraging in.
Sorry, it would just be a survival check.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'll do Nalian.
Oh. Oh.
He's back.
This is so awful.
Nice.
Oh man.
It's alright, you rolled really well on a survival check just now.
Thanks, dudes.
Ezra, you also can roll, though you don't need to, but I suppose you can over discover, so I'm good with that.
Oh, just so many mushrooms.
Oh yeah. You've got enough for a day and a half.
What do we find? Like
nice.
rock, like pebbles, like bits of corn,
Well,
like corn
let
cobs.
me tell you.
Born in the Underdark?
Yeah, like dark corn cobs. You know, like they glow purple.
The purple corn.
Yeah, purple corn.
Let's see how many.
You know, like half of a fish head.
1, 2,
Like
The back half.
yeah, the bad part of the fish head.
roll
Yeah.
Let's see.
Do you have like a list that I'm rolling for? Is
Yeah,
this?
roll a d12.
What do I get?
That's actually a 12 this time.
Yeah, well that's me.
3, 4,
Hey man.
7, 8, 9.
I got my dice lined up.
You find
Mine are all fucked.
a species that you're vaguely familiar with. It's the Ormu mushroom. It's a
Guys, Ormu
it's a
mushrooms.
bioluminescent green moss, primarily in the formation that it grows in, and it's
when you-
in warm and damp areas.
This is perfect. Look, these mushrooms, and when you poke them just like this, they go, and then,
When
and then
you-
like
when
in my
you
face.
Hold it up. You see that they actually shed a decent amount of dim light, almost in a 5-foot radius around them.
And you can eat them too, and I eat one,
Hello.
and you see it illuminate down my.
Wait. You just had one explode in your face.
Yeah. Look, it's a
What?
flavor burst. It's a flavor burst. I know all about these. Just look, and that you see the light go down into my stomach, and I go, so good.
I think I'll stick to the good berries.
Well, you know, they're pretty much the same thing, right? they're pretty old, so they don't glow anymore.
I don't know, eating glowing things.
2 pounds.
Look, I thought you would love to eat these. They're double protein, double carbs,
Double carbs.
double grease.
Double.
Yeah, they're the doubles. Just slide
Basically
it down.
animal style.
And if you close your eyes, they taste exactly like a piece of chicken.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Love chicken.
I go for another one, but then I slowly put it into Oscar's mouth. Here comes the airplane.
I don't know if I can. Oh, you're right.
Fried chicken, right? Am I not?
Yeah.
Am I not right?
I feel like
Yeah.
when it comes to food, Oscar's like, I'll try anything once.
What do you mean food?
You right. You right.
Are we dying yet? Is this- Are we keeping
Not
going?
yet.
Not yet. No, we ate them.
Tell
They're
me
good.
when I have to do a Constitution saving throw.
They're good for us. Tom Haverford, where is he?
I am a dwarf, so I do
So-
have.
So far, so good.
I passed them out to everyone.
Yeah. All right. Day 2 in the books. You
They
continue
call
on.
these the fried chicken of the sea.
Still at a pretty normal pace. You think you're only about 5.5 days out from bloop 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 bloop.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Swoopadoop.
Pretty good.
We just got a chicken 9-piece.
All right, Ezric, you're passing the baton. Who do you want to roll on the fate chart next in the group here?
And I can choose between NPCs and PCs.
Just PCs.
Just PCs. Okay.
Yeah. It's you're rolling on behalf of the whole group, so.
Yeah.
Well, they
It's
are.
gonna be Ro.
Don't mind if I do.
Okay.
A raw 10.
Ro speaking with Sereth for quite a while on the beginnings of day 3. Hard to call it morning since you have no fucking sense of time of day down here.
I do though.
You're able to carry on avoiding any potential pitfalls or issues for the first half of the day.
Oh.
Who are you passing it to, Ro?
I give it. I look at Oscar and I'm like, so glad you tried one of the delicacies, the Underdark. Here, this turn is yours. And I put a mushroom in his hand and I clasp it closed on it. This is yours.
All right.
Thank you.
D20 me.
Roll for our fate.
Oh, you want me to roll?
Yeah, it's your roll. It's time
God.
for you to roll.
I just watched. I was staying behind Ro, and I just watched how gaily he handed this other man a fungi.
Don't judge me.
I just
Wow.
thought to myself, oh, okay. That's the tribe.
Fuck,
That's
anything
the tribe
anything
becomes
goes
fun.
in the Underdark.
stays in the Underdark.
You all wrap up day 3 without any issue.
Damn, we're on a roll.
You,
As it would say.
the more distance you put between yourselves, and then the more quote unquote days that go by, you begin to feel like you're actually free this time. We go into day 4. Oscar, you have the baton to pass here.
Ah. Well, I give it
Choose
to
a party member.
an alien.
What are you?
Raw
am I having to
D20.
eat the thing?
I will
Raw
give you the
D20.
mushroom of fate. And I
Oh, the
gingerly
mushroom
hand
of
you
fate.
The mushroom of fate.
Is that the one I gave you? Shit.
Yeah.
No.
Pay it forward.
Oh, so it is the mushroom of fate. Of good fate.
Good fate.
It glows slightly blue in your hands and vibrates.
You right near the end of the 3rd day here, you enter a cavern dotted with stalagmites and stalactites, and anyone who's got a passive wisdom score of 11 or higher, you all spot this thing at the same time.
I see.
Let's see. Where's your passive wisdom checks?
Is it just an ability check? What is that?
Passive perception is what you're looking for?
Yeah, passive perception.
13.
Ooh,
I know where that is.
actually,
See, like, dark
all of
vision.
you have a higher
Oh, there we go.
passive
Yeah.
perception than 11. In which case, all of you
I've
at
spotted
least
something.
Me too.
all spot a what looks like a warning sign. You're not really sure how to take it, but it's a carving in a sigil carved into one of the stalagmites in the middle of like the pathway in the ground in front of you. It's not blocking you by any means, but it's very prominent, and you see this symbol.
Oh, it's a symbol. but we take it as a
Left
warning.
sign.
Oh, no,
shit, that looks
dragon.
familiar.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Ezric's symbol. Ezric, hey, Ezric! You freaked out last time you saw this thing. What is this?
Yeah, that's no good.
What's it mean?
Does Ezric does Ezric really recognize this? Can I perceive on this?
You could make an Arcana check. It looks the closest to you to some kind of like sigil.
Oh,
or
shit.
symbol.
Was that the same thing that we
Oh,
saw
no.
earlier?
I
Like,
thought that was
way
on the
over there?
wall. Yeah, like on the blood wall. Thing.
Yeah, the fountain or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
like don't drink from it or you're gonna die thing. This is this is a bad omen.
The guide who's been leading you, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarith, what's this
catches
mean?
some of your comments and looks at it more closely before kind of returning to the group. He says, "Lately, drow gods have used this symbol to signify that demons have been through here.
Oh shit!
A practice we haven't had to use in quite some time."
Do you know any ways to dispatch of demons? Any easy ways? Do they have weaknesses?
You're not used to seeing Drow taken to aback by comments like that, but he just kind of like looks at you. He's like, "We should listen to the warning sign and find another path."
Oh, he's freaked out.
Yeah, he's visibly freaked out.
Can you tell
Okay.
if this carving is fresh or not? How old is this carving?
Says, "I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with stone. It's hard for me
If
to
only we
gauge
had-
when someone."
Hey, don't we have a dwarf?
Yeah, we
Oscar.
have a dwarf. Oscar! Hey, Oscar!
Oh, what?
Hey, you know about stones.
Yeah.
Can you tell, like, when this thing was chiseled in here? Is it old? Is it new?
Oh, I'm incredibly good at that.
Damn straight you are. Holy shit.
I squint real hard at it.
You're like face to face with it.
Oscar, as you move close to it, could you make a religion check for me?
Oh shit.
It's
not
a religious
stone,
rock.
It's religion.
Uh-oh.
Alright,
Wait, aren't you a cleric? Shouldn't you have, like, a shit ton of religion?
Don't
Humanities
look,
are not
the jig's up.
religious.
The jig's up.
You,
He's not religious.
you,
That's me being proficient in it.
Oh god.
you're intrigued by
He's an atheist.
the stonework. It draws you in closer, and you start to examine it, and
I start smelling it.
you start to reach out to touch it, and you immediately hear a familiar voice in the back of your mind says, "Don't touch that."
You reach out to touch it.
If you were to describe the closest thing in your possession to a holy symbol to your god,
Yeah.
what would it be?
Oh,
Like,
my
what do you
shield.
use? Is your shield?
Let's say I got my symbol on my shield. Yeah.
It you kind of like what? And you look and see the symbol on your shield kind of like flares up for a hot second.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh. Yeah. This symbol is serious. It's serious.
You
I don't think we should go this way.
yeah, you immediately feel like a sense of foreboding.
I was gonna touch it, but I'm not gonna touch it anymore.
But is it fresh? Is it fresh?
Oh, it's hot.
You,
Damn it.
without touching and examining it, I mean, you can still tell that this looks not fresh, maybe, but like recent. You know, maybe like sometime in the last month.
Yeah, it is fresh.
In the 90s sense of.
Sereth, is there another way?
Fresh carving.
Yeah. This is a someone on our side carved this.
Oh.
Correct. It's a warning.
God.
It-
Our atheist says.
Sereth says that he believes it's a warning that drow guards use at times.
Yeah. We don't go this way.
Yeah, is there another way, Sereth, we can go?
We'll have to backtrack and lose some travel time, but
Well, it's better than
it's
dying.
better than dying.
Yeah, better than dying.
Better than dying.
Better than dying. We have a day and a half worth of food.
We already agreed to. I think we're all in agreement with that from the very beginning.
Better than dying.
Better than dying.
Yeah, better than
Better
dying.
than dying.
That's the name of our group.
Dude, I was gonna say. I think we just found.
Better than dying. Torture. It's better than dying.
BTD.
Lava. It's better than dying. It
Alright.
works with everything.
It's like montage to different
Yep.
scenarios where everyone almost dies.
Yep.
Just before they're always like better than dying.
Cutting a rope
Spend-
bridge while you're still on it. Better than dying. Burning a stalactite to the ground. Better than dying.
Better than dying.
You spend the second half of day 3 mostly backtracking. Nalian, who would you like to pass the fate baton to?
The mushroom.
Could be anyone
Yeah, the
you
mushroom.
want
The
in the
mushroom
group.
of the mushroom of
Um,
destiny.
Any players.
I was gonna go give it to Zahn.
All right. That's
The mushroom of destiny. Why does it stop glowing?
with
We tried to
we
give it
want-
the mushroom, and he didn't want it.
We want low numbers, right?
yeah, with all of the
Oh, we do?
with all of the retracing of
Lower
the
the
steps,
better.
and so on and so forth, you're able to at least find a new pathway with Sereth that he believes will continue on west towards and it's here that you find a good enough spot to kind of call it a night as we head into day 4.
Oh God.
Now estimates are kind of leaning more towards like 4 more actual full days instead of about 3 or 3.5 based on the snag you hit with the warning sign there. Who would you like to roll next, Don?
Ezra.
That's
D20.
me.
Okay.
Oh.
Right.
No, it's good. That's good. That's good.
First
Low
half
is
of the
good.
Oh,
day
yeah,
goes
yeah, you're right,
by
you're right.
event free, but next we have who rolling?
It's gonna be Oscar.
Oh no! The mushroom.
So
Yeah,
popular.
grab the mushroom. Hold
Nah,
it close to your face.
I give it a good whiff deep,
Oh.
Okay,
but not
Oh,
too
it's good.
deep.
and
No,
that's
it's good though.
that's 4 fairly uneventful days. We'll start day 5 off with who rolling.
Ezra.
It feels like Jeopardy or like. something.
Yep. We're getting
Uh-oh.
higher by 3s and 2s.
You
Exponential.
you
Hey, be
carry
careful with that mushroom.
you start
It's getting old.
you start off day 5. It's day 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And you you continue foraging as you have been, hand waving some of that for now. But in this case, you come across the most questionable fungal specimens that you've seen so far. You still have about a half day of nourishment from the supplies you've been carrying from the previous few days, but you are getting quite low. This is the end of the day and the last source of potential food that you've seen. Again, you still have enough to like start you off tomorrow. But it's
Can
kind
I
of
like
questionable
forage?
whether or not these are edible species.
You know, being a little hungry, it's better than dying.
Wait,
Better than
hold
that.
on, hold on. Don't. I put my hand on his chest one more time. Why don't we ask Stool? I know it's a little fucked up, but he probably knows if they're able to be eaten or not.
I just imagine he's just horrified. You just hear this like super high squeak of
So you're saying
How could you ask me that?
will these kill us if we
Uh,
eat them?
No, he is definitely not thrilled about the question or the line of questioning. But either way, he doesn't seem to know.
He doesn't
He
know.
doesn't want you to die. So he understands that you need to eat, but he doesn't know in terms of like whether or not these are actually edible. He knows they're not sentient like myconids, so he's okay with that.
If they're questionable, then I use good berry again. I feed everyone.
Okay.
I marked it off.
Alright.
I take out mushrooms of my own. They glow bright blue, and they pulsate and vibrate in your hands. Go,
Alright.
here you go, Oscar. I know you love them now.
Oh, I love him.
Put it in your mouth.
I
yeah.
picture the stains around Oscar's mouth have been getting like darker and darker as the days go on.
They stain your teeth blue.
Yeah.
Bluebeard.
Alright. Well, you've been
Bluebeard.
You've been continuing to make pretty good time other than that first initial setback. So as you start day 6, Sarah seems pretty confident that you'd reach this place by the end of the 8th day. Who's starting us off on day 6 here?
Alien.
Okay.
If the pattern continues, you're gonna get a 14.
I don't want.
Oh, wow.
Everyone's
half
rolling
of the-
shitty and it's great.
Yeah,
First
normally
half-
this would be terrible.
First half of the day is pretty anticlimactic. But as you've been traveling on pretty much this whole day, you notice that the size of like the ceiling is just getting larger and larger and larger.
Oh,
and
no.
You're coming into like an enormously open part of the Underdark.
A fight zone, no!
As you approach, you see what at first appears to be like you're not sure if it's just blankets of like fog and mist and like dangling plant growths, some of these other fungal varieties you've seen. But like as you get closer and closer, you realize that it's kind of like this optical illusion where it looked fairly small, but you approach to what appears to be this enormous crisscrossing network of strips of spider webbing.
Oh no, we just
Uh,
escaped that.
It basically wraps around and covers what appears to be an enormous chasm up ahead. And both the chasm and the webs seem to go on for literal miles.
And what day are we on? 5 of 8?
You're on day 6.
6 of 8?
Yeah.
I don't want to go through there.
Spider webs.
You see, as you kind of like look down the edge of the chasm, the spider webs kind of butt up on top of, crisscross over, above and beyond in every direction. You see a small hut with a fire pit in front of it.
What?
What?
It's like a
Friendly.
yeah, in the middle of hell.
Is anyone friendly in the middle of a giant spider area?
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe.
wouldn't trust
It's
it.
just a hut though. How is he defending against the spiders in just a hut?
Maybe
this
he
guy knows
rules the
either.
spiders.
Gotta know something.
Maybe he's in charge. He or she is in charge of the spiders.
We should visit the hut.
Maybe they feed random wandering strangers to the spiders.
Good
But
point.
we're so many. How many spiders could they possibly have?
Well,
It's
It's
only
like-
miles of webs.
Zahn just looks over at Ro and says, "It's like you taunt God all the time."
Uh,
I do.
you as you're debating, I mean you're quite a ways away from this hut. Um, you
It's
see
better than
like
dying.
a lanky looking like way taller than normal goblin kind of like striding out like past the hut, kind of walking up to the edge of the spider web and kind of tapping it with the staff that he's using to walk.
Oh.
He's kind of like looking over, and you notice that he's carrying like something in his left hand here. He drops it on the ground and starts walking back into the hut.
It's probably food. I bet that's food. If I squint my eyes, can I see what it is that he dropped? Do I have to get closer?
You would have to get
No,
closer.
you
I
just
assumed
can't
you're
see.
I assumed you were like a few hundred feet away still.
I want to
This-
squint
this place is
real
like
hard.
enormous.
Yeah.
You're
What
like,
is it? What is it?
I want to see what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I go. "Ah!" I'm audibly squinting.
Subtitles audibly squints.
I'm gonna. What if I get a 20? If I get a 20 on this, can I have it? I'm gonna percept. Here we go.
You can suddenly see like.
Oh damn it!
You get dust in your eyes.
Yeah,
It's like
It
if you
just-
get
it
a one,
just-
you get to own it.
it just hurt. Yeah, it just hurts. It's just like my eyes are all red. I realize I have conjunctivitis at this very moment.
Oh, no.
I'm just like, oh, I got those mushrooms way too close to my eyes.
You junked. You junked
Yeah,
up, bro.
I'm all junked up.
Oscar, you're kind of watching, and you see, at the very least, the lankier looking goblin creature. He's kind of just like standing on the staff, like leaning on top of it, like at like an angle towards like the webbing. And I'm trying to think of how to like accurately describe this, but like if you were if you were standing at like the top of a fucking skyscraper and you were like on the edge of it and
Yeah.
it just went on and on forever, like that's you at the edge of the chasm. And then beneath down into like the street level from between you and the skyscraper all the way up to like another skyscraper height above you is this like almost city-sized network of like crisscrossing strands of spiderweb. It's like the weirdest formation you've ever fucking seen. And so you're watching this guy just like lean on his staff, kind of like watching and scanning this catacomb of immense city-sized proportions. And out of nowhere, you hear this voice kind of like echoing throughout
Oh,
like the
no.
inner
Okay.
workings of the thing. And he comes sliding down, and like you can see like visible like grease or liquid kicking out like around his feet, and very much 100% like a Glen Keane Tarzan sliding down some vines. You see a smaller like gruntier goblin coming down like woo, and he's like just dragging
I
behind
like this
him
guy.
like in the air, like behind him, like some like junkyard workshop guy who's just got like hauling a new fucking bag of loot behind him, comes sliding off the edge and landing right down next to the tall lanky goblin who just kind of like peers over him.
Tree goblins.
Huh.
Troblins.
You
Don't even.
you
We
can't
can travel
make
on
out
the webs with grease.
the details of their features, but they kind of look like this in terms of shape and silhouette.
Whoa, cool. I like that design a lot.
Yeah. They look like topsy-turvy.
They're arrows. Yeah.
A little bit.
There's one's an up arrow and one's a down arrow.
I know who the good guy is.
You
The less arrowy one.
The up arrow.
you all see I'd say at least Oscar, who's still kind of looking. you see the goblin as he lands. He's kind of like adjusting something over his eyes, and he's like gesturing and pointing towards your very large group standing
Oh.
in this very open, massive cavern.
So I see him seeing us and
Yeah.
gesturing toward us.
You see him kind of like adjusting something on his face and pointing to you, and then you see like the tall, lanky goblin just kind of like slowly waves his stick towards you all.
Yeah, I waved back.
What? Hey, what are you doing, Oscar?
They're
Yo.
waving.
Yeah, they are, Oscar.
Put your hand down.
They can see you.
Yeah,
they can see you.
Put the hand down, Oscar.
I think Oscar's high.
I point. Yeah, I don't know if he can see me, but I point at them, and then I point back at us.
You're giving our position away, Oscar.
I think
They already see
think
us.
they can already see us.
What are you doing?
You
Everything.
You last see like the big guy, like he like gives you like one more wave, and then he goes near the hut, and like you see them like just kind of like plop down outside of like what almost looks like like a trash fire, but it's more like it's obviously a fire, but like in
He's
some side of
burning
like
trash.
in some sort of like scrap like fire pit type thing, and they're just kind of like sitting there hanging out.
It's like old garbage bags in there, like a
Yeah.
tire.
You know, this is going to be interesting, but let's just go say hi.
Yeah, we should do that.
Do you
Might
think
as well now.
How do we
We
get over
start-
to them?
we start? Well, is
We
it
just walk over, right?
a clear area or the spider web's in front of us?
Yeah. So like, dude, I'm gonna do this real quick. Hold on.
Because it felt like you were describing it like it was up above us was all the spider shit or
No,
around
no.
us. But
So like, if you look at the poster right now, I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
Oh, yeah, poster.
Whoa.
Nice.
If you were standing here,
Oh, okay.
like if you little guys were like, you're like little tiny specks, just like standing on the edge of a huge like Grand Canyon type chasm.
Yeah.
You're just little dude standing over there. That little arrow is fucking you at the edge of this cliff, right? You are talking about like crazy amounts of crisscrossing, like a literal city of catacomb spider
Yeah.
webs and railways that you can now kind of see just overlap the edge of this cliff. And clearly, like, this guy was just using it to sort of slide down it in some capacity.
Yeah, but
where are
okay,
they?
Where are they? Yeah, in sort of, like,
So yeah. If you're coming in upon them here, they are like over here.
and
oh, okay. So we can
is
walk
it
to
a-
them.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
pathway that we could
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like to
Yeah.
cross this chasm, like the only clear
Right.
way is somehow through this spider web catacomb
Okay.
to get to the other side. Sarith sounds a little uneasy as you all approach, and he says,
Yeah.
I don't know this pathway."
We're over here.
But they do. Let's go down and introduce ourselves.
I mean,
That
typically
little
this
one
never
was
works,
pretty-
but I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll curb my stereotypical views.
Yeah. Put aside your racism for a second.
I don't
What
care
a
about his race. I
goddamn
don't even see his race.
Well, they're goblins.
He looks just like me.
They're goblins. It's fine. All right, let's go check them out. Let's go talk
Alright.
to them.
As you all approach, you you see the big one kind of lean on the
The big
staff
one.
and stand up a little bit, and he is kind of like a lanky, weirdly proportioned goblin, like unlike anything you've ever seen. He says, "Whoa, wow, there's a lot of you." And he's speaking common, like actual common, not undercommon.
Are you, there are 35 of us. How many are there? A lot.
There's Those of you.
Xenov lets out a screech in response to him talking.
Whoa.
14. Ah, God. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Ro says what he says and looks for a response.
There are 14 of us, but don't worry, we're not hungry. We have good berry mushrooms. Do you need some?
Well, Spiderbait and I always need something.
Oh, is this little one Spiderbait? Are you Spiderbait? And I look at the little one.
He's kind of like seeing.
I saw you surfing on the webs. That was impressive.
Don't any of you speak Undercommon?
I do.
Oh, shit.
And I'm also actively talking to them in Underdark. Well, Elvish, but
Yes,
like-
Undercommon.
Okay.
I have Undercommon.
You hear him, like, it sounds like a little. Spiderbait's like, lot of customers, yuck yuck. Let's do business.
Oh, okay.
Merchants.
Love them.
Yuck yuck kind
What
of
do we got? We got
back
gold?
in his slow drawl. You hear him say, "Okay, Spiderbait, let me get to it already. I was getting there." And he kind of
Aw.
like scratches his forehead for a moment and still leans into his staff. Look, this here is the Silken Paths, and he like gestures
The
grandly
Silken Path?
towards like the catacombs.
Do you sell silk?
You got a network of crisscrossing 500-foot deep, 2,000-foot wide chasms covered in silken roadways.
Oh. Spider
Yeah.
silk, I
This
get it.
thing stretches for nearly 5 miles.
Nearly
Oh,
5 miles.
Spiderbait here has been mastering the pathways that are actually traversable.
Oh, okay.
wow.
All
Can
right.
anyone walk on that?
Not just anyone, but our customers. And like Spiderbait, like, yeah, you finally did it right the first time. And he's like chiming in, speaking like quick, really garbled Undercommon. And Yuck just kind of like slowly smiles at him and nods. So,
So, wait. How do you travel around without getting killed by spiders?
well,
Oh, calm down, Oscar. Calm
pull
down. You're
up
gonna throw out
the
a lung.
seat, make yourselves comfortable, and we'll talk about that next time on
Oh,
Out of the Abyss.
I have so many questions. Oh my.
questions.
What kind of grease do you use?
Yeah.
How tight are the silk
The best kind.
wires?
Alright, that GG.
That was good. Thank you.
We'll pick up there next
Yeah.
time.
Oh my
GG,
God.
guys.
Guys, we didn't